plan. I'm only half human, staring at the moon, and wish I could touch the glow so soothing. Look to the sun. Swim in serotonin to numb all the pain. The best place to be is inside of my brain. If y'all could come see it, then you'd be amazed. Also in fear, cause it can't be explained. I vivid picture in one frame. Ain't no not throwing shade. Travel quickly.
all gas and the heartbreak. Call your phone in the middle of the night. Need a conversation like a sundown line. I ain't gonna live with another man in downtown. I ain't gonna trip 'cause I only wear boots. Save a couple hands when the toys get loose. Don't worry about me messing with your weekend life, 'cause I wanna call you in the middle of the night.
a mosh pit. Enemies image, the rhythm, a lyrical prison. I'm a pinnacle prism, a hillbilly lyricism. No damage, you put that on the image. Let me make them become a critic. The enemy critiques the game, say, making me vicious. Tell a telephone that I'm all out of minutes. Fuck them all, tell them all out of digits. Putting up a hallway, 6 arms, a picket fence. This is real rags for riches. Going in on people, they cage the mountain ridges. Even cavemen sleeping on me. Some of the South, you sons of bitches. To this era, I'm a terror. That's why they fight my style. Fuck you for your tears, cause in the holler, got no secret now. Leave me alone. I ain't home. Even if you see me through the window. Leave me alone. Cut up all my phones. I've been living lines in the ring, another tone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
goddamn shit by raising the price on fucking fuel. What the fuck, man?
You won't even know you're bigger. 'Cause this country boy ain't a label's playing toy. I come from the mouth of the river. So if the record labels try to drown me out, you'll see crazy eyes and a crooked smile sitting on my mouth. And I ain't made of sugar, I carry no shame, 'cause I
whiskey, got my head up in the clouds. In this world, you fucking with me, I ain't never coming down. Fuck this mask and all this trash that y'all keep trying to spread around. Sip your glass up, kiss my ass, but I ain't dealing with you clown. Listen,
It's hard to stand by and sit back. It's hard to stand by and sit back and watch you sink your shit. Proud about it down the just trade God for division while we're feeling the everyday hustle. We bustin' ass and we getting taxed. We gotta solve it with knuckles. We call it extreme. We live in pre cause we ain't complying. Raising up, we making noise, take on the giant. The people keep fake with hope. The farmers and the soldiers, coal mines, steel workers trying to feed their kids. Freedom from
Oh, Denzel Washington? I'm a favorite of Denzel. I just like Denzel Washington, so I'm good with it.
I like Denzel. Yeah. Yeah, I really do.
I like Denzel too, but when it was a guy good, like, fuck yeah. He's really play. Like, you know, good choice.
What's funny about this list is if I watch like 1 5-second video of Messi talk the work I'll be like, yeah, right, yeah, give him the fucking medal, man.
That's not
That definitely
he's on an American team, and maybe he does now.
I thought he was America playing.
He switched to the MLS like the year before.
Oh,
The old Major League Soccer just everybody the best.
I saw that Caitlin Clark had some sort of stalker that they arrested. Like that's
The best. Yeah.
I saw like that crazy guy who was sitting in the courtroom, and as they were charges, he's like, charged. Just stalked her, and
Any basketball player under 30. I've heard this question asked again and again. Is there NBA under 30? He's pretty good.
I could think about a lot. I know John Morant because it's funny.
He
I got my gun. John Morant. Shoot. John Morant. Give a fuck. It's like minutes clips of him pulling guns out. like
Papadopoulos or something.
MB,
she's more. I think I can answer this.
Oh, I know him.
Such a fiery passion. I don't know any of those people, but I know Caitlin Clark. I would recognize her in a Starbucks or whatever. I would, if I saw her, I would recognize her. But all like 6'6", I wouldn't know any of those. He looks so much like LeBron. I really catch on. White guys, that Jokic guy. I recognize him.
Yeah.
He's got a distinctive look about
Dude,
him.
that guy is so funny. I don't think he can jump more than 6 inches. He's one of the least athletic basketball players in the history of. If you jump and you straight legs have to be more than 6 inches off the ground to be like
That's awesome.
Near 7.
I just read that if you're over 7 feet tall, your odds to be in the NBA are 1/6. Like for everybody else, 1 in like 50 million, 60 million. You're over 7 feet.
Probably the best basketball player right now. He just well, what he does, and he has like a vision that he sees the game
What do you
develop
think?
like Gretzky.
What do you think if they made like dunks like a different point amount than other things, like the
Higher or lower?
I just because it seems like dunking, and then when I watch see piece of shit they did in the like windmill dunk, I don't see that much.
Yeah,
Like
maybe the mid-max sport too much.
I don't know. Maybe they either not cool with it, just trying not to get hurt. Maybe the game.
It's like they must basketball. Look at math now. The time shots work. If you shoot for 3 at like 40 times, so every shot's worth what, 1.2? Did I do that right?
Yes.
So that means that anytime you're not shooting threes, you leave penalty. And they just shoot 3 after 3 after 3. Well, even like 7-foot tall guys with no one in front of them are stopping at the 3-point line and shooting there.
But you got to draw more fouls on the inside though if you're shooting, from the paint, like how money ball out. It seems like the move because you ease your shot and getting the and one.
Hard to make it when you're getting fouled, but
But you're right, fouls are worth a lot too. I don't know how much a foul's worth, but I bet it's worth like 1.2.
Yeah, I hate the game, but I really do enjoy watching the players shoot the shit about from any game. There's something about like in the NFL especially, those guys are always in that helmet. You don't really get to see what they're about, and then you see some like sit in like some brute shit, this ridiculous stuff. And it's like, oh, guy's palms are. This is a rush. And it's like, what do you mean his palms are flat? like the way they're picking up on stuff and how smart. I like podcasts with like talking about reminiscing, especially. I like that stuff a lot, even though I didn't give a shit when they were playing. I've gotten more into football this year, like big time. I've watched a bunch of NFL. I've liked it
More into pro football than college?
No, not more so. I watched the boat. Well, it was a great Georgia year. That's fine. I don't know what we ended up, but like, it's a good year. You know what? Oh god, like I haven't talked about this yet. Our coach here. So first of all, you ever see Rocky 3? Remember Rocky 3? He's about to go in there and fight Clubber Lang, Mr. T, and they skull right before the fight. Like they're in like the back area of the stadium, and Rocky's trying to get to his locker room, and Mr. T's going to his, but they bumped into each other, and there's a scuffle. And Mickey, Rocky's ancient trainer, gets knocked against the wall by Mr. T, and he has a heart attack and dies. That happened to our coach at the game that we lost.
Your coach died?
No, his mother died. She fell over and died at the game. The coaches did.
But she wasn't bumped by the opposing.
Something Dave
Defensive linebacker.
Did they win the game? No.
Teams lost.
This is
a
Notre
playoff.
Dame law. Yeah.
Oh, dude. So he's like, well, this day can't get any worse. Oh man, what a horrible day for
His mom
football.
died at the game.
Oh,
She fell,
that
she got-
sucks.
and died.
That's really sad.
Really, his mom is the goat. They're the reason they lost. If she
I
had a
hope
little
not.
more toughness to her, maybe the coach would have had his head in the game. Just saying.
But I mean, you probably didn't know until
I
afterward.
don't think he knew until afterwards. I don't know what the timeline's like.
He's a ruthless coach. If he turned over and saw his mom at death's door and then was like, next place, please. We're like, we gotta end this game quick.
Jesus, I read that. I felt really bad.
Yeah, that does suck. I can't believe I didn't see anything about that. Well, how old is she?
I don't know. His mom died. She got crushed in the game or whatever. Fell down. I pushed up.
If someone died next to you at like if I bought and I had really good seats at like the Blues game or something, and the guy next to me dies in like the middle of the first, I'm not gonna go home.
Dies of what?
Just sudden death.
Heart attack?
Just the kind of death where like I ask him to get when I'm like going to the bathroom in between periods, and he like is already dead, almost like Weekend at Bernie's, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's dead. You're not gonna let me back to my fucking seats.
Wait, you're not even gonna tell anybody?
Well, end of the game, because they're not gonna let
You're
me
gonna
back
sit next
into
to a
that
corpse.
hour and a
What if
half.
he's just in a diabetic coma and he can be saved?
I would go like this under his nose. I'd
Oh.
say slurs at him.
Oh, well, as long as you
I
go
know.
like this under his nose.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. Gotta hold
tell.
the court.
Yeah, and also, this guy died, and also,
like this under his nose.
and he ate his brat and popcorn, by the way.
That's what it would be. It would be the footage from TNT of you eating your second brat.
Rant, but I saw that he was in true Philly form being very rude to an opposing fan.
So the opposing fan wore Green Bay stuff to the Philly game in Philly. And her boyfriend, husband, fiance person is a content creator. So he went there kind of with like provoking on his mind. He said he was going to go into the belly of the beast and root for the opposing team. Anyway, for some reason, his girlfriend, fiance, wife person got the attention of the Philly guy, and he screaming at her, calling her a dumb every everyone's like, we need to identify this fan. Even the Philly fans are like, let's identify this guy and get rid of him. Not that I've ever done that, but I'm like, that's how I was raised. You're supposed to protect your home court. But the other team doesn't get to cheer in Philly. The other team should be in danger if they're supporting the other team. Not like real danger, but like pushed around shoulder check danger. Like that's what they're supposed to.
Lightly assaulted.
Yeah, like and to me, I'm like, that's sports. Like, don't do that. Don't dress as the enemy in at someone else's home court. And it's almost like this morality play for me. Like, no. We deserve home court advantage. You can't come here, Pittsburgh, New York, Dallas or whatever, and make this your home court. No. It's us. And they're all yelling at him, and I'm like, maybe I'm the dick. Maybe you're not supposed to scream at people for wearing the wrong clothes. I don't know.
Is this the video, Kyle?
Well, I saw the video. It's like what happens, the aftermath. The guy got identified and fired.
Yeah, he lost his job, and he's not allowed to go to games anymore, and I assume he's a pretty big Phillies fan, given how he so, patriotically supports his team.
And you just know that the girl and
guys, I think we should start a GoFundMe.
Yeah, this guy's just a hero from Philly defending the Eagles who clearly need it.
We'll show his second grade school picture. This guy's being bullied by the national media for being a patriot and a Philly fan.
Dude, that's so funny.
So was he just yelling that she was a cunt? Like, how long did it go on? Was it a whole game?
The video was pretty short. The video that we all saw was, 18 seconds, something close to that. And he called her that twice during it. And they were coming back at him really peacefully and civilly. Like, no, they're the ones recording. Hey, don't say such unkind things. Like, I don't know what they were like as they riled him up before the video. But, or maybe he just reacted that way to the Packers uniform.
I bet he'd been drinking.
Yes, but I also don't think the Packers people were there on a charm offensive when they said we're going into the belly of the beast to rile up these Philly fans, rooting for the other team.
Hey, you're real victim blaming right about now. That's what I'm getting out of this.
No, I am not blaming the victim, because the victim is that guy from Philly heroically supporting his team. He lost his job.
You're just hitting on him.
I don't like Philly fans. They seem like the worst kinds of fans. I hope y'all lose the game badly. I hope it's like, because they deserve it. Like they really are.
The game. We're moving to the next round.
I hope you.
He means the big game.
I want you to get to the Super Bowl, Luke, because that hurts more. Not you. I don't. You don't care. But Philly fans.
I'll be okay.
That guy, like that, you won't care at all. But like that guy will care. If that guy has to watch his team from home go to the Super Bowl and lose painfully, that'd be beautiful. There was a couple of painful losses. It might have been the Packers game, or there was a fumble at the end, and it was like, oh my God. There's a couple of great games. I've enjoyed the playoffs thoroughly.
It wasn't the Packers game. I feel like the Eagles were pretty much in control.
Yeah, I've enjoyed the playoffs thoroughly.
That's good.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever really watched more than just a game here and there. But it's been a good season, and I think I just like the NFL football. I think there's been changes. It's a different feel to the game than it used to be to me. For one thing, I don't know. Culturally, I hated the NFL during all that Kaepernick stuff, and it just seemed like every game had a black national anthem, and then we had like the gay national anthem, and then
I hate that.
And then the rainbow, and now the Rainbow Warriors will sing a song, and it's like, who are the Rainbow Warriors? It's like, oh, you don't know, they're that trans biker gang that protects kids. They're gonna come out and do donuts and
one national anthem, undivided, indivisible, right? Like we should all be on the same team here. This idea that this is for the black national anthem, this is the American national anthem, this is the gay national anthem. Like, wait, blacks and gays aren't Americans? What? How is that better?
Also, it's like more time. I don't even like it at the beginning of hockey games when the Blues play against the Maple Leafs and they do both anthems. It's like, brother, let's
you
get
don't
it
like
moving.
it is the Canadian anthem is clearly superior.
It's a good anthem. I'm not going to throw shade at that. I just want the game to start. because
Yeah.
they blue ball
What
scene like 1
world
year.
is their anthem better? Ours is a battle.
I didn't say it was better. I said it was a good anthem. They have a fine anthem up there in Canada.
No,
Ask
they
anyone.
don't.
Canada.
What's it about? What's the
There's
story?
other words.
Yeah, there's
Oh, Canada.
yeah, our home and native land,
Yeah.
Ours is a fucking
true
battle.
patriot love,
Ours is a
something
fucking battle.
something command.
Badass. Ours you play. Ours is great. It's beautiful. They're great renditions of it. And every now and then I hear somebody sing it so well, it brings a tear to my eye. I always like that when you see some of the big football players crying because the national anthem is so good. I like that. I remember one year they had some.
Where do you see this?
On television at football games at the NFL. There was a country guy that sang a few years ago. They were all out there crying. Everybody was. It's great. You know, patriotic, Taylor. You don't cry at the national anthem.
Not regular. Well, it fills me with pride, not with sadness. I'm a patriot.
I cry. I'm so full of pride that I cry.
You guys are nothing. I cry and I poop myself a little bit. I love it so much.
Sometimes I'm so overcome by emotion I vomit. All over myself because of my patriotism.
I want to talk NBA for a second, and you guys are the people I want to ask.
Okay.
The NBA's ratings have gone down, and
I heard.
Yeah, and by like a bunch, and it's not like systemic across all sports. I think the NFL has gone up, baseball's gone up, and I think hockey may have gone up too. I'm not sure about
UFC
that.
up.
UFC is up, but NBA is down. So it's not like sports are down. It's a streaming issue or something. It's specific to the NBA. I mean, there's a couple theories. One is they embraced some leftist stuff too tightly during the COVID bubble. Like they'd wear maybe, like, I forget, Black Lives Matter. They replaced their name on their jersey with stuff like that. There were like a half a dozen slogans. They were all like Black Lives, Stop, Don't Shoot type stuff. So one is that they've cut off half of their viewer base by being too blue team. One is the 3-point shot. That, you know, every team plays the same way now, just shooting from deep. I forget some of the other theories on why. Oh, the players changing teams too often. Like, you know, more so than football and hockey, a single player can become a franchise's identity. And you know, when that guy moves, like, who are you rooting for now? So one is
I
that.
just think it's so inaccessible to me as an outsider looking in.
Okay.
Like when I see a game, it's just a blur out there. The coverage to me of that game, and it's just the way the game is. Like, even basketball, man, the camera works so good. I feel like, are there cameras out on the ice in hockey? Yeah, I feel like basketball's good. There's all. I feel like I'm right there with them in basketball. Like I see the guy's face. I see him sweating. I see his tongue sticking out. And hockey, I'm just disconnected from them. Even in football, where they're also covered up like that, man, they get those cameras right in there, and I can hear the quarterback audibling and stuff. It feels cold like when I watch a hockey game. Like I'm very disconnected from what's happening on the ice.
I could see why basketball wouldn't be everyone's cup of tea. Like, one of the things I didn't like about it before I started following it more was scoring. Like,
It's too much.
in hockey or football, when somebody scores, that's a noteworthy event. In basketball, it's going to happen 50 times tonight. You know, you might get 52, I get 51. This is scores, not points. But one of them doesn't seem to be a make or break like it is in the other sports. Instead, it's more of a flow type thing, you know, who's doing well lately. So I can get why that wouldn't be for everyone, but if ratings are down, I mean, that's not a new factor. I was just curious if you guys were going to be like, it could be because players are all black. They're not all black, but they're largely black. Maybe a lot of people aren't interested in such a black-dominated sport.
Well, that's definitely not it. No, all right. So if anything, it's like, this is the time for the white fan. I bet white viewership is up. I bet black viewership is up. Would be my guess. I don't know why, but the white stars, like if anything.
Oh, those European guys who are really good.
Yeah, there's a couple white guys who are in the top 10 best players in the world, and like Woody thinks that Jokic guy might be the best, or maybe he just is the best. Like, this is the. You got
He's
a modern day.
3 out of the last 4 years. So.
Yeah, like a
That's
modern
a
day
good
Larry.
resume.
You got a modern day Larry Bird doing his thing right now, so this is the time for the white fan to be getting involved. You know, if you care about that sort of thing. But I don't know why the viewership ship is down.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it.
Okay. I thought
About
maybe-
baseball.
I
know
just
baseball's
don't like
got
you.
two,
You
but
can't
Texas,
follow.
yeah.
You can't follow basketball and hockey. You have to pick one. Like it was an easy pick for me,
Fair,
but like
yeah.
if you actually want to watch games, you can't follow both, or it would be.
Oh,
like
that's the other thing. The
a
games
job.
feel inconsequential. Like there's so many games that each one is so inconsequential. I think the more games there are, the less each one matters, right? You have to really enjoy just watching people play hockey now to watch a game because how many hockey games are there in a year? It's 180, I'm guessing.
No, 82 for NBA and NHL.
Isn't
Okay.
it fun that they're the exact same amount?
Yeah, and their like seasons are like almost
Within
like
a week or two from each other.
like 10-day overlap.
Yeah.
So-
I always
and
know because it's like the Stanley Cup is finishing when like the NBA Finals is starting or something like that. Like it's such an overlap.
There's just too many games to me. That's one of the things that's cool about the NFL. I think that each one matters so much.
Yeah,
College
like,
even more.
College even more, although the playoff system takes a little bit away from the
True.
polls as well as that tightrope that you had to walk through of
Got
being
a
basically
long
perfect,
way to go.
being unbeaten.
Yeah,
and then
I
the
think
strength of
most
schedule
time
fell
we
shit
get
off.
there.
Like some team would go undefeated, not make the big game, and then some
There was a-
team would take a loss or two. And
In 2000 or 2001, somewhere around that time period, USC won a national title when it was like they were like co-champs with like Oregon or something. They did some kind of crazy thing where like they were like, all right, you're number one, and it was awful. The original way that they would just vote and decide who was best. So a playoff is just so much better. It's a shame Georgia didn't win, but I think we're going to get down to the best team. We didn't have our quarterback, so it probably wasn't going to go well.
I forgot.
Yeah,
How did your replacement play?
not good, not good. He didn't. I don't see the finals again. I tried to try to forget. I've been listening to books lately, and when you listen to audiobook,
Drive.
so I've been watching police videos. I find that the thing because so I'm police chick and narrator watch it, and I my audio background with my 40K nonsense.
Visual. I could just massage my dick while I do whatever.
Oh, they're dirty audiobooks. They're dirty.
You're listening to romance novels.
It's drawn in that for a while.
What is a 40K novel? Is this a written fiction or like
So, the Warhammer 40 universe is written down in a lot of different ways. There's these campaign books, even later, each one of these campaign books, and the rules and stuff like that, it'll have lore written in, and it'll be like, oh, and this are very like in those campaign books, but then there are novels,
And it's just
written-
something like
no, it's like it's not fan fiction. It's called the
Oh.
Black Library. Like the Games Workshop has draft, and they go back and others and 12 hours that are I'm on a trilogy of novels right now that just tell parts of the lore as well. So I'm reading those. And there's I don't know how many books there are. There's hundreds. What's
Like,
that?
I wish somebody would marvel it, and by that I mean
They
I
are.
need a 31 movies. They are, but I want them to do it as well as they did Marvel, right? Start me off slow, right? A little dip in the toe that was Iron Man 1
Yeah.
of the Warhammer universe, where I learn a tiny bit and think that this is something that's like, oh, wait a minute, this is the same universe as the same.
Dude, it's so cool. There's some stuff in it that's dumb, but there's so much cool in it, and it's full of that the every man desire to have that last stand to hold out for his friends or whatever. There's tons of that of like those last
The
heroic
heroism
stands where everyone
grit.
does. tons of heroism and self-sacrifice, but it's just so depressing most of the time and dark. But I'm reading the books where like the good side is kind of coming back around and winning again. And the lore, it's 40,000 years of lore, but the most of the stuff happened around the year 30,000, and now we're currently around the year 41,000, and there's new stuff happening.
41,000. They need to update the name of this.
They do, right? So there's like new shit happening. The sons of the emperor who all died 10,000 years ago, 2 of them have reawoken, and so the addition of these demigods in the lore, those that I'm reading, and now I'm reading the Dark Imperium trilogy with Tate Gilliman, and it's like, you know, he's like a 9-foot demigod who's been brought back to life, and he's found that in this new future he is worshipped, his father is worshipped as a god, and so is he by like all of mankind, trillions of people.
How'd they wake him up?
Doesn't matter.
He was kissed by a prince.
Is it a really evil way? Was it like
No.
kill 1 million souls and infuse him?
I think
No, they
It was either gay or evil. We've decided that.
no, it's just nerdy and like long-winded is all. But you know, they revived him. They got him back. They got him back into action. So I'm reading those books, and they're really fucking good. I like that stuff a lot.
Can you pay attention to audiobooks if you're doing something else?
Well, like I said, I'm watching police chase videos, and if I ever catch myself daydream, that's what I'll actually do. Is I'll go into a little daydream, and I'll be like, oh, whoops, I missed 30 seconds, and I'll just go back. I'm pretty good.
My audiobook retention is dog shit compared to just sitting there and reading. And I can have a TV show on in the background, I can have music on, but if I'm like actively reading, like it's going to be 10 times more than I have like in my recall.
Unlike Kyle, though, I'm usually doing something that makes it hard to rewind, like riding a motorcycle, flying a paramotor, or something like that. And I'll realize that I've either focused on the task at hand, or I'm like, man, I sure hope there's context clues to help me figure out what I just missed.
All right, we can piece this together. We can just...
My headset has like touch, and if you rub it, you know, backwards, like on the thing, that's 30 seconds back, so you can just go flick, 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 and just like kind of through it, so that's nice. But lately, I'm playing the audio just through TV. I've just been playing off Audible, like through my TV.
What's your streaming device? Is it the TV, or do you buy something else?
My phone.
Oh, you stream from your phone to your TV?
Yeah.
I didn't consider that. I use a Roku. And I think it's good.
Just for Audible. I don't have Audible on my Roku. I genuinely mostly just play it on my phone and turn the volume up loud and sit it next to me on the couch. That's usually how I listen.
That wouldn't be for me. I'm really sensitive about how phone speakers don't tend to be as good speakers. And it's not just snobbery. It's like maybe I have some sort of sensory thing. I hate iPhone music and audiobooks and stuff. Yeah, it's too tinny. I need a proper spectrum from my speakers.
It doesn't bother me at all. Like there, with my old Samsung phone, like if I didn't feel like putting something on the TV in my gym, I would just like open like the Opie and Anthony Lady Di saga and then just hit play on that. And like genuinely over the years, because I had that phone for I think 7+ years, like anytime you had the screen on, like it was so burned in, you could see the like arrow on YouTube burned in, you could see like where the comment section would be, and you could like almost like I listened to more than just O&A, but you could like from like where Opie and Anthony was there. Like again, I didn't mind. It was just like I need the for this comment. What's up, man? How are you?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Look at this guy walking in here with perfect audio. This is a pro's pro. Did you set it up?
I'm glad it's working.
Cam? Is it just because you know what you're doing?
Somehow it just worked, which is not generally the case. I am not a podcasting pro like you boys, so there's been some growing pains.
I'm glad you got it sorted.
Taylor, we were talking about audiobooks. Taylor, don't you have a thing on audiobook listening? know that I like having voice actors.
Aren't you is this
Wait, I wanna
weird?
get-
Like, when I read a book and like a new character comes up, like I kind of get their vibe,
Giving them a
and then I
voice.
like impose in my own mind their voice. You know, like that's
Yeah, I give them voices. Yeah.
yeah.
I
that-
like
do
good
that.
voice acting, and it's important. Sometimes I'll listen to a book, Three Body Problem was this times 10. I don't even know the characters' names, but the voice actor in Three Body Problem did such a good job. By the way, all their names were like Ji, Jia, Jing, and Zhang, right? Like, that's why I don't know their names. They're Chinese characters. They all start with X. I'm lost. But the guy does them so well. I know all the characters by their voices. Having said that, the Game of Thrones voice actor, that guy who got all these awards,
Roy Treese.
most overrated voice actor in the history of audio. Oh my god, him with the haroos, like
It was fun. I liked them.
that dude who's dead now. Like, I think he was like 114 years old when he did those, and every character he played was just a different variation of a 114-year-old dude, a 114-year-old girl, a 114-year-old child. He couldn't help it. He sucked. He was past his prime, and I don't know why he got the actor.
What helped me for those in particular was to like not think of his haroos and his nonsense as the voice itself, but to think of it as like we're almost in the future and a wizened storyteller, like handle lore and whatnot. Like be like, and then King Roy did in the strongest voice, charge.
So the worst one I've ever experienced is Red Dragon, the Hannibal Lecter novel. I listened to that, and the voice actor or the narrator, whatever, he has the most gravelly voice you've ever
What
heard.
did the women sound like?
That was the problem. There's this scene where there's a husband and wife driving home, and they're going to be the victims of the killer. If you remember, they're going to die. The whole family is. And the kids are in the back, and they're trying to be coy about their like hitting on each other. And she like leans over and whispers. She leaned over and whispered, "I want you to put it in me, hard and fast. I want it. I want it. I want your cock, Mark." And I was just like, ah! Like, couldn't you have brought your wife into the room real quick and been like, it was something just like that.
You make him sound like the fucking WWE guy. Whatever.
Yeah, right now I'm listening to this like Warhammer shit, and there are characters who are ghouls and goblins and just the most disgusting monsters you can imagine. They're rotting while they're still alive. These demons are, and so this guy would give these great like orc-like voices where you can hear like slobber and like their tongue is falling into. And I am Kuga, Blade Father. Just like all mouthy.
Yeah, it's all gross.
Yeah, I like that too.
That's what you want. You need your demons. So are you an audiobook guy yet? Or not really?
Not terribly. Generally the ones on paper, but I've heard, people have told me to look into like voice acting as like a thing, but I don't know how you enter that career space. I mean, we can't all be Sam Elliott, but I think it's one of these things where, I had a guy come and tell stories that his dad was the voice of pork in the 90s. Like, he was like a voice actor for pork commercials, like the other white meat. And I guess it's a real thing. He made real money doing it. But, yeah, I mean, to sit down and record, like, an entire book is well beyond the capacity of my, post-COVID drainage voice anymore.
No, you should try. You got a good vocal tone. You could.
Yeah, you really. I think the way to get into it is like. I was thinking about this the other day. I bet you can do animation with AI. I bet animation you could just like make your own like goofy, silly cartoon, and I don't know. I think a voice like Ed's it sounds really like salesman-y and proper and like an announcer like that would be a funny voice in like a silly animated type of situation. It can be very funny.
Dude, I really hope AI gets to the point where they can animate. We told from like a long time ago where people don't have pictures and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
We've tried a few different things. We had a guy animate one and car story, punching alligators in the face, and it didn't really like help it that much. And then we had one that we used a courtroom sketch artist to recreate some of the scenes, and it was it made for But yeah, like a true enactment, be a real wiki storyteller.
That'll be here before you know it. Like, you'll probably want to not, you know, storm the beach on that in the first generation, because it's like everyone's face is going to be weird and they'll be like throwing hands and the background will be all blurry. But eventually, like in the next couple of years,
No, it's already here. No, it's
I've seen some of that stuff. Like, I've seen people post stuff online where it's like, I took 4 days on whatever AI generator and created a story, which is basically like someone getting in a spaceship and flying to a different planet and then like finding a home or something. And it's like, it looks way better than you would think if you just had the exposure to AI that we did a year and a half ago. But it's also at no point in watching it are you like, whoa, animation. You're like, no, this is AI. That like weird fluidity of solid objects where it kind of like fades and then merges with backgrounds. Like,
Taylor, I think you're emotionally good, and you think that's me. Because like I saw there was a woman talking. It was only like 15-18 seconds long, and I could not tell it was AI. And then I go to the Reddit comments, and it was filled with people who were like, we're screwed, we can't tell anymore, you can't tell. And then there was one like Taylor, and she was like, no, look at the, like, this gap between her armpit and the whatever. The floor doesn't look like it should, it's not continuous with the floor over here. Oh, it's just 1 in 100.
Well, it depends what we're talking about,
so
right?
this show this one, Zach, because this is one that like apparently fooled a lot of people online, and like immediately it was obvious that it was AI to me. It's like skin is shining on the way it turns.
I saw this and did not know it was AI.
Yeah,
I did too. It's out because or something like
way to do it, but like,
So, that,
like
doesn't, that doesn't look like AI to me. I would have noticed that. But what I'm talking about, like this like real AI. I'm just talking about making a simple like cartoon, like a what's that new cartoon? Something in Friends.
something in Friends. And no,
What kind of cartoon guy?
I know what you're saying. It's like the comedy, Adult Swim kind of show.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it, but the animation is so poor that
Happy Friends or something.
yeah, it's like Happy Friends. The animation is so poor that we could draw it. Like I could draw that animation. I could draw that. Yeah.
You're smiling. Now smiling
Yeah.
Friends.
Yeah.
Can you show us what it looks like? It was still.
Yeah. That was a really fun, like, it was very on the nose for that show. I remember watching people in high school, just disjointed. A lot of the jokes that like really hit you are just like throwaways, almost interspersed.
Yeah. It's a wildly popular cartoon.
Really? Mm-hmm. If you liked old school Adult Swim, then it's not to show you. It's
Why is the character background so much better?
it's like they'll do like that, where like part of the silliness is the details of some throwaway character. Or
Is that Mr. Boss? Is that what that character is? Something
I
like that.
believe
Looks like
Mr.
Charlie Brown.
is the name.
He does. He even has the sweater.
This is the Halloween episode, so he was Charlie for Halloween.
It's
YouTuber, or he was
Right.
a YouTuber.
yeah. Mike from Red Letter Media's done some voice work on this. He played a suicidal person who the smiling friends are there to cheer him up, and the entire
That's the
episode
pilot.
he holds a revolver to his head through the whole episode. They're like, we're here to cheer you up. Okay, let's try it. But they're on a roller coaster. He's got the gun to his head. They're like eating ice cream, gun to his head. Like he's just ready to blow his own brains out the whole episode.
It's an interesting show. The whole like crux of it is that two of those colorful characters work for a company that somehow makes money called the Smiling Friends.
It's like
Company.
Monsters Inc. But
And it's like the whole purpose is like the boss will be like, all right, we got a little boy who needs you to give him a smile. And then, of course, they go to give the boy a smile, but it turns out it's not a young boy. It's a 46-year-old man who lives at home who's woefully suicidal, and they have to try and keep him from killing himself with random, roller coasters and sweet treats and whatnot. A very interesting show. I like that that old Adult Swim vibe. It's engaging. You never know what's going to happen because everything's so disjointed, so it keeps your attention more. And because they're like 11 to 12 minute gumdrop snack episodes, you can just grind through it. Did either of you watch old Adult Swim, like any of those shows?
It genuinely made me ill to watch it. Like it was so like dirty in a weird way. I was grossed out by it. That was just always. There was that one show where there was like a pack of French fries and a soda in it.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I liked Aqua Teen.
I hated that. And
why'd you hate Aqua Teen?
It was just gross. Like I thought the characters looked gross, and like I don't know. I really didn't like any of the Adult Swim stuff that I saw. It all seemed way over my head too. It seemed like it was made for a 40-year-old man, and I was 15. It didn't make sense to me, a lot of it.
What about the Venture Bros? Did you ever watch that one?
I genuinely hated it all. I
hated it all.
Yeah.
Did you?
I remember some episodes of that one, but I couldn't get into it either. It probably just was over my teenage mind. But now the one with the weekly drawn animation, where does that air? Is it on a streaming service or is it on YouTube or the Smiling Friends thing?
Oh, that's on HBO, I think.
Okay.
Somewhere like that. It's on one of the big streaming services. I've only seen maybe half a dozen episodes.
So it's on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
And it's on Max, and it's on Amazon Prime. I guess maybe you have to buy it on Amazon and YouTube TV. Damn, it must be a bigger deal of a show than I really knew.
Yeah,
that's wild. I mean, just the way that you're seeing this kind of transition from that looks like it would be a YouTube production, right? Because it looks like something like you said that we could all just get together and draw on a quiet afternoon and then use AI to animate it. But I think that the fact that it is showing up on more produced network streaming service television means that the social media quality threshold is probably making its way towards more mainstream operations, which has got to be horrifying from a production perspective, that they're like, these guys can get an audience with this stuff that it looks like it was a 4th grade art class project.
Oh yeah.
And
old media's dead.
And
old media
a lot of it is
dead. If you look at I wonder what maybe you don't even want to talk about this. It's probably like Friends of Friends or something, but like Car and Driver TV, like that channel, I wonder how many views one of those programs gets compared to a YouTuber who's taken a Porsche out to the track and running it through its paces. I bet it's not even close, and that world is so different now. We see it a lot with the news.
Sure.
The viewership on especially liberal news, the way MSNBC and CNN has just tanked post-election, and I mean, there's half a dozen YouTube channels that I get recommended that are just 250,000 views every day, recycling the same, news that CNN. We were looking at the views of an MSNBC program, and it was like 80,000. There was 80,000 was like the median or something viewers for a TV program.
It was 80,000 in their core demographic.
It's crazy.
So it's more than that, but like within whoever their core demographic is.
Right.
So
whoever they're building ads for, there's
35 to 54-year-old women or whatever. Like,
do you know Rachel Maddow gets paid?
She makes a ton of money.
I bet she makes $1 million a fucking week or something crazy like that.
She used to, because her show in about 2016 is almost 10 years ago, but like 9 years ago, like 2016 era Maddow, she was slaying. She was bigger individually than any other show on MSNBC. She was bigger than most Fox hosts, the morning and afternoon Fox hosts. Bigger than most CNN
for a long time, like Netflix wouldn't even give stats. I remember hearing maybe a year or so ago that they were going to begin offering viewership statistics, but they wouldn't let anybody know. So they would theoretically allow you, if you were doing content for Netflix, to sell brand placements and product placements. but you couldn't have any evidence of whether or not anybody saw it. And so, you know, the problem with traditional media is that even those estimates are their Nielsen ratings, they're not that accurate. Whereas social media view counts are very easy to audit. We can get some level of demographic data, and it's just such a different marketing product. The only issue that we have is that, you know, it can be hard because a lot of the mainstream brands that have traditional ad buyers that want to be on cable television aren't prepared to buy lower view counts or single video deals, or, you know, however you want to break them down from a social media perspective.
Old-headed. Yeah, it was like that with gun stuff. It was always like that with gun stuff. There'd be a firearm company that would spend $50,000 to be on some magazine. And it was like, how many copies of that magazine did they sell, sir? Oh, 2,800! Man, but like, you don't even know. Like, I can tweet and get you 28,000 imprints right this second from my brain.
Right.
I can do
Absolutely.
that. What are you talking about? Like,
This was like years ago, probably like 2018 or so. But I remember like talking to Hulu about placing ads there, and there were just like no key performance indicators that you could lean on from streaming services where you'd be like, all right, you know, if we want to do product placement in this way, like how do we, you know, measure how well it's working? Like, will you tell us exactly how many people watched it? And they're like, no. It's like, all right, so then like, what do we, and like, so our KPI will just be if serendipitously we notice an influx of sales in the region we're running this placement or ad, and it's like, what the, like, this is not the way, because like even now, like you do this with Fox News, they'll tell you to the person, like in every demo, how many people are watching, what their durations are, what other products they like, what other forms of media they consume. And so then like doing that with a company like with Hulu, because obviously Netflix has always been ad free, and you know Hulu wasn't, and a huge percentage of their just pays the minimum and watches ads, and they just didn't have any performance indicators that were useful. I'm sure they're more sophisticated now, because that was
with Netflix
6 years ago. No, with Hulu.
I know
They
Netflix
might be, but they may not. I mean, it's such an interesting business model where it's subscription plus ads and things like that. But, you know, when I've got sponsors, like Premier Financial Services is one, they've been a sponsor for 8 years now, but they also do traditional print ads in automotive magazines. They also do event placement, and they have booths everywhere. And they said they don't get attribution for new leads from any of them relative to what they get from VinWiki, because they just, you know, we are obviously massively more in terms of number of impressions, but you know, it's since it's in their face, it seems to convert a lot better than traditional print. We're like, oh well, I saw an ad in DuPont Registry or whatever, and so it works. I mean, the Ticket Clinic's one of ours. They do billboard ads, and they somehow manage to tell if that works. But I'm sure it's, you know, Florida Turnpike ads where people are getting, you know, highway patrol tickets and things of that nature. But it's odd how different they find the results to be when they start to transition towards a social media advertising model relative to traditional print ads or traditional paid media.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's interesting to see the evolution.
I know we sold $10 million worth of AA12s to a couple foreign countries. Like,
sick.
Like, I always said,
good countries.
Why would you?
It wasn't Italy and France, was it?
Nah, it was Jordan. Yeah, it was Jordan. The king or the prince of Jordan or something, like, wanted his like squad to have AA12s, and they're like,
that's cool.
I think they're like 50 grand each or something like that. And like, we're gonna bought a bunch of them, and but I always thought that like the print made no sense with guns. Like, I mean, like, why would you want, being in guns and ammo costs so much money, and you could be on every gun YouTube channel. Just like give them your thing and let them shoot it and give them a little money. You could get every single gun channel for what you get guns and ammo for.
It's just anachronistic.
What
like,
about gun shows though, Kyle? Did those work?
Yeah. Oh, well, SHOT Show is kind of like the mecca of that, right, in Vegas, where all the firearms companies and also all the influencers. I mean, I was always there, and everybody else was always there doing big meetups and stuff. And that would be a good. I would go there and talk to anybody that had cool shit and try to like rub elbows with them and be like, and give them my card and stuff. We went to lots of shows like that and tried to like dig up business like that, but mostly just trying to make contacts and meet people. But I think that those were good for those companies for sure, because often they're looking for military contracts and police contracts, and SWAT teams and police departments send reps to those shows to look at the new stuff. So they're doing great business at those. Those definitely work.
I think
they're
it's
always
the week after SEMA, right?
I don't know what SEMA is. That's
SEMA is the aftermarket products convention that is also in Vegas, and that's one that a lot of the guys that I know are finding it not worth $50,000 to $200,000 to have a booth there for the week.
Awesome.
Which is crazy, but it's a wild time. But I haven't met anybody in the last few years going there that is like, oh well, this is what led to this deal that was it changed my business from a buyer or a seller perspective. It seems like the value there is shifting because it's so easy to just DM somebody on Instagram and initiate the same kind of conversation about putting a business relationship together.
See, SHOT Show's really good because, like I said, like every police organization and everyone who can buy the stuff that they're pimping out there will come there and check it out, and then they go out in the desert and use it, and so it's really good for getting big deals done like that, I think, for a lot of firearms companies, and not just firearms companies, but companies that make like 40mm grenades and tasers and all that police gear type shit. All that stuff would be there, and also all the hunting stuff. SHOT Show's sort of split between tactical and hunting, or at least it was last time I went.
And what was your content strategy in firearms?
What do you mean?
Did you have a channel before you did this with guns and things?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Oh,
I thought it was all
you didn't hear about FPS Russian?
I did, but I thought it was video games.
No.
It started as video games.
Okay, and then it turned into firearms.
Dude, I'll tell the story even though Kyle's right here. It started as video games, and he played this Call of Duty character who was kind of a fish out of water, right? He was Russian, and he was like, oh, dude, scary thing happened today. Man in my friend left a box there, said nothing. I don't know what's out there. I don't know what this is. But in a Russian accent that's hilarious as he describes the frightening UPS man. And he only played with Russian guns in game. And then he would go to the range and all the time shoot these same guns in real life that he used in the game, which was like, no one was doing anything like that. Oh my god, the effort he went through to like go outside and everything was at the next level. And then because that was the more popular part of the video than the COD stuff, the like just shooting stuff became what it was about. And just
holy cow,
I remember he went to a lake, like I think it might have been his father's lake, and just shot bullets in it, and you saw the pop of every bullet hitting the water, and like that kind of content was mind blowing at the time. And then it just kept ramping up to the point where it's like blowing up a car, watermelon, a stack of toilets,
tanks and helicopters, anti-aircraft guns.
Yeah, and
goodness. Did you stop 10 years ago?
Sounds right.
Yeah, that's a rough we got arrested.
You're the 9th largest channel on YouTube. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that? That was kind of before my YouTubing days, but how many views does the content get?
Broke up a little bit.
I think he was asking how many views you get now.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to log in.
Like you do. Every show Ed comes on and say, how do you guys doing? How you trending? How your metrics? And we're all like, what are these metrics you speak of? We just tell
I don't pay attention to such things. Probably millions. I don't know. 10,000 then. Yeah, not that.
2.2 million in the last month.
Yeah. I think a lot of that stuff gets hidden and demonetized because of the gun stuff. YouTube's so harsh on the gun stuff. So even around the time I got arrested, I was like, they're demonetizing stuff, and they're adding liability to this. And this is like a good idea. People are able to make money out. They're like Patreon.
Damn it, I'm in a fucking elephant race right now.
response. I don't know what else. I don't know how to make money, but he got
other kinds of content. Like Hickok 45, if you don't know him, he was a teacher, and he runs a really educational, like, the videos I've seen, not very controversial. He'd tell you the history of the gun, when it was used, why it was built, and then he'll shoot it a bunch of times, and you can tell he's very competent and very safe. He has a range in his backyard, and just takes long shots and tells you about why this pistol was there and why it was cool back in 1877 or something. And he seems to always get demonetized, removed from YouTube, reinstated to YouTube, even though, like, if it was any other topic, if he covered tires in the same way, he wouldn't have these problems. But
yeah, it's a ton of liability as well, because like, and I'm sure you have a little bit of that too when you're filming. Like, you know, you could crash a car into some shit, and like it'd be, you could be, you know, there's that who's the black guy who does all the tech reviews? Usually his
Marcus Brownlee.
I know he got because he was singing in his school. A whole big deal. Guns now. So here's a clip of you having a good time.
One last thing, I figured we couldn't make a video with such a high-powered rifle pouring up the truck, so let's get a nice big explosion and a little shrapnel going.
That truck ran too.
everyone thinks that was CGI. No, he almost died.
Oh man, that was a good one. Yeah.
Hal did four. Did you say Hal?
I said wow.
That's nuts, man.
Dude, that Beaufort gun, the image, has found its way into memery, which is
there's a few of them, but yeah, the Beaufort one's a good meme. I like the Beaufort meme. But yeah, that was a good one there. I love that one.
And you haven't thought about returning to your 6.9 million subscriber channel?
He can't.
What, do you want him to do it with knives? Can you have knives, Kyle?
I can have. See, I can have black powder weapons, Woody. Like I can take, you know, those pistols that Clint Eastwood always had. Those were black powder pistols.
I knew you could have those, but could you have knives?
Yeah, I can have knives.
Is there a limit on how long a knife you can have?
No, there's no limit on how long a knife I can have. As long as it's dull. Yeah. Very dull.
That was like that.
Yeah, I can see how you can't have that sort of thing. But you could do like, there's got to be some content model that you could create using, you know, to that audience.
I don't know the password.
You can't have knives in public or your car, Kyle.
It's not Bitcoin. If you get it wrong 3 times, it's not going to delete your
I don't have any knives in public or in my car.
Yeah, you're allowed to have them in your residence.
Yes.
Good.
He's like a fucking pirate. You need to start a IBFPS pirate. And then you've just got black powder pistols, knives. How about that? Then it's on theme.
We need to go back to video games.
You don't even know. I pitched a whole FBS pirate video to like one of those pirate games back in the day, and that was the whole thing. I was like, I'll do the pirate boys. We'll get a fucking boat. We'll get cannons and things, dude. We did the Assassin's Creed one though, where we did the cannons from Revolutionary War.
Where you jumped into that hay bale.
Wow. Well, I apologize for not being familiar with your number.
Oh, I don't care.
Before we jump to anything else, we're going to hear from Blue Chew. We're going to hear from Blue Chew, folks.
I was wondering how to make my dick hard.
This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Let's talk about sex. Guys, shouldn't you always be at your best? 2024 is the year to maximize your performance in the 2025 is the year to maximize your performance in the bedroom. Listen up, BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part, it's all done online, so no visit to the doctor's office, no awkward conversation, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. And a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free When you use promo code PKA at checkout, just pay the $5 in shipping. That's Blue Chew, promo code PKA to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. Big thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring the show. Again, that is BlueChew.com, BLUECHEW.com, promo code PKA to get your first month free. Just pay the $5 in shipping and see if it works for you. As we say every time, Kyle, when we first got this sponsor, Kyle said, Taylor, Woody, go for the tadalafil. In my opinion, that's what Woody and I did, and we've never gone back and even tried the other ones because you don't fix what's not broken. Nope. So check it out. BlueChew.com, promo code PKA, BLUECHEW.com, code PKA.
The only reason to use the sildenafil over the tadalafil is if it's ineffective for you, because the tadalafil is superior in every other way. It's longer lasting, faster acting. It's about 2.5 days of like superior hard arm powers.
But what's a hard gun with no ammo? Lock and load is what you need if you have a nice hard dick and you want to complement it with a nice hard cum and a whole bunch of cum. Now I see people all the time tweeting at me, telling me how much more they're coming. Sometimes they're including photos. I didn't ask for it, but that's okay. I see people all the time really develop better. Because when does it feel best at night? That's folks. Powder. You have to do a bit of powder. It was going to be like every morning you'd be alcohol coffee maker, and so we decided to make it pill form, and now we've made it even more convenient and just as effective as it always was. So check it out. Use code PKA or code Jizz for 10% off. And while you're using code PKA, feel free to load up that cart with pre-workouts, protein powders, energy drinks, protein bars now, all sorts of things. Load up.
Get those shroom dream
Shroom tech.
Get those things for
work over the dream.
The better dreams. Those things really do work. You have some wacky dreams. And every time I talk to one of you guys, like one of the patron hangouts we do at the end of the month, link down below, they always tell me, like, I bought the pills like it's a joke, but I'm just shooting ropes now, and it's shocking. Like, I get that every single time I talk to someone who's, but no one's ever been like, I don't know. I mean, I guess
me. I repeat the same stories. It's one of my calls. Every time Kyle calls, I'm like, ropes, dude, ropes.
You think the pictures make Taylor uncomfortable? What is this video?
and the audio is really blown out, and you can hear him.
he's just by himself. He's in his garage.
He's a loud comer.
He's used sidewalk chalk to draw this little thing on the floor for distance, and he's just groaning. Anyway, buy our Jism pills. Use code Jizz. Buy our stickers, the stickiest stickers. Yeah, have you got the stickers yet? You tell them about them stickers.
We haven't got the stickers yet. Get yourself some nice stickers. Get yourself a nice hoodie, some nice t-shirts, a mug, all sorts of things. Use code PKA10 at our merch store to save 10% on all those things, and you will enjoy it. It's not low-quality horse shit where the designs are going to come off in the wash after 2 cycles. No, I've put my hoodie through the wash a dozen times at least now. My girlfriend often wears it, and the design is perfect. Perfect. Looks like the day it arrived in that box, that was supposed to go to the 3 of us, but I told the merchandise guy, just send it all to me.
I never get anything. I just want to say that. Like, I pretend like it doesn't bother me. like every now and then we'll do a new thing. We'll do him like, all right, well, I'll get one, and I'll be like, hey, I didn't get one. And they're like, anyway.
Hey, Woody and I have
big. I'm like, did you guys get the refrigerator? And Kyle's like,
they got a refrigerator.
I didn't get a refrigerator. But I did get, Derek sent me a pallet of energy drinks about a year ago. Like,
I didn't get any of that.
Did you get like the pallet of energy drinks, the absurd amount? Yeah, it was like hundreds of these things. Every morning I'm waking up drinking, I'm like, man, I'm
my pictures in a goddamn TV commercial, but I can't get an energy drink. I can't get a
Dude, all you have to do is text Tristan in the WhatsApp and go, send me this, and he will.
I'm always like skittish. Like, I don't want to bother him. Have I asked for too much protein powder this time? All he ever says is like, got you, bro.
Yeah, I think they do like many millions of dollars worth of gross. So we probably just ask for 2 bottles if we want.
Oh, when we had that the bong sponsor like a year or two ago, I think that was also, Kyle, where like a lot of the sponsors were using an old address to ship you things, and so like whoever lived in the house Kyle used to was getting this amount.
They got all that.
Yeah, I have got the same amount of bongs.
Actually, I got some of this. Actually, I think it's so many bongs.
Yes,
Well, he doesn't even smoke. He doesn't even smoke, and he's got I mean, I've got it too. I'm looking at my desk. I've got some of those.
And they're like really nice.
They're really nice. That's a dab rig, like an electric for a marijuana concentrate, like the wax and goo that you can get. That's super strong. It's like this full self-contained. That's just a bong, a bubbler type thing. No, that was good stuff. What I really liked about him is, I mean, we can walk through it about 5.
We can teach you how, but
put your finger on it and you suck it. I guess you
I don't think
you would never blow.
let us help you. Yeah, no, never blow in it. No, because then you'll just the bowl that has the weed in it. You'll blow it out and you'll have weed all over here.
So what you do, Woody? Like, there's going to be a cup that's got the marijuana product in it out on the end, and then you're going to suck on the other end of the pipe, and you're drawing the outside air through the burning product, and making the smoke that goes through the pipe, right? So then once you've done that, you remove the cup that marijuana was in, and now you breathe again, and the cold air can flush all the smoke out of the pipe into your lungs, and you completely get it all out. That's how you use that bomb. There's no hole to use or anything like that. Super simple.
I got this right here.
Sounds super simple. Look at this.
I mean,
it's cool.
You slide that in there.
Very
cool.
Now we're nope. It goes in the only one it fits in.
Oh, there's another piece here I just discovered. I don't know.
There you go. That's the piece you're going to pull out later. That's the thing I was talking about.
And there's a clip. There's a clip that holds the bubbler part to the part. In between the top two.
Anything but that, it'll explode. That's a Rupert's drop bomb.
Yes.
That's a Rupert's drop bomb.
Flip it, and then clip. You gotta flip it and clip it. Yeah, there you go. Now flip it and clip it.
You see, they're no longer a sponsor.
They're no longer a sponsor.
So now we're assembling. The unique thing about this one in particular is the top part of his bomb.
They have those unopened. It's so funny.
Go here?
Yeah, the weed goes in there, and then you light that, and
What
then you
goes in here?
you suck it. That's just a frozen. That you put that in the freezer, and it freezes, and then it makes the hit colder.
Don't
I think
open
if you
that.
twist that, open that, because I think it would empty.
That's how.
Hi, I'm calling about my Verizon business account. I had you had reached out to me about a month ago, and we got me a deal on a new internet, and I need to make sure that my old router is connected. It's looking to come back. Point is off, so give me this number when you can.
The goo in there.
Yeah, but you would just suck on the top part. You'd watch as it fills with white smoke from the weed, and then you lift the bowl off to create a clean channel for you to get high off of.
When I was, I don't know, 5 years old, I learned about sex. My mom explained it to me. I had this crazy mixture of C-section and sex that got me really scared. So even when she told me about how it was done, I was like, Mom, you hold my hand the first time? And she said, what? That's what I did. I guess my hand the first time.
I think I've
Something genuinely coordinated enough to do it. I had a girlfriend to do it. I had to baby bird her, like get it in my, like blow it in her mouth.
Oh, I've had that with girls where like I take my hit and then I like get all the way for another hit to where I remove the bowl and then hand them like the ready go bong, and then they take a hit from that, and every time it's like, this is so easy. Like it's so easy, like potheads do it. Like if they're not getting stumped.
It does feel bad to be outsmarted by hundreds of millions of potheads.
Yeah, there's no trick to it. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, you said like when your mom told you about sex. I probably mentioned this on the show before, but I remember coming back from my friend Stuart's house for like a play date when I was like 6 or 7, and Stuart was a couple of years older than me, and he had like made some comment about sex, and I had no idea what that meant. And like, so just in the back of a minivan, I was like, Mom, what's sex? Stuart was talking about this. And then like, she had no chill with it at all. Like I was like 6.5, maybe 7, and she just like laid it on me. What was going on and what sex was. And I remember just being in the back of that van and having one of those sentient moments as a young kid where you go, I'm going to remember this. You know what I mean? Like sometimes something happens in childhood where you like, in your mind you think, I will remember this.
Oh yeah.
And then you do remember it. And that was
a lot of the times they're completely stupid moments too. The completely worthless moments. I did that. I would do that around Christmas because Christmas would come once a year and you love it so much as a kid, and I would really think about it. And like, 1 year from now it'll be Christmas again. And I can remember like writing down on like the bottom of a drawer like, it's Christmas today. And then like it'll be Christmas again soon. And then going back and reading that the next year because I could remember it, being like, that's cool. Because when you're 8, that amount of time passing, like that was an eighth of your life. Yeah. Like when you're a kid, a year is so long.
Mm-hmm. And summer was so long too.
No, summer was always short to me as a kid.
Yeah.
So those 2 months as a kid always just melted away like so quick because I would spend summers just, I don't know, just hanging out outside, fishing and hunting and just watching TV late into every night. Yes, having a great time over the summer as a kid. Mostly staying up late. My parents would let me stay up as late as I wanted during the summer, so I just stay late and watch TV. Love that.
Did you
remember
stay out late though, or just up late?
Up late. I didn't have anywhere to go.
Oh, I stayed out late. I didn't have a curfew.
Nowhere to go.
I didn't have a curfew when I turned 10. And all I had to do was like check in, and I would go to the boardwalk and just stay out till shit.
Yeah, like you've lived in a tourist town, like full of tourist attractions. Like you got to remember, like if I walked out of first of all, our driveway's a quarter mile long. Like I'm talking by the time I get to the end. Then if I turn right, like where am I walking to? The next town over? That's Hartwell. Okay, if I turn left, that's 7 miles to the
Even
next
if you
town
get to
that
Hartwell,
way.
I've been there. There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. There's Walmart. That's what people would do is they hang out at Walmart.
Yeah. I wanted to ask Ed, how did your parents give you the talk about sex?
Well, I've got a 10-year-old, so I'm about to have my own version of that soon. Which may be too late, I don't know, but he seems like it's about time. But yeah, it was one of those, very awkwardly introduced conversations that, they're like try to be smooth, and then it's just the most awkward evening ever. Yeah. But yeah,
Was it both of them? They were both together?
Yeah. Ooh. I don't think that was better.
No, that's like a counsel. It's almost like you're in trouble.
Dude, I was 6. I was 6, and I saw some cows fucking, and I was like, "What's going on there?" And I was like, "They're having sex. That'll make more babies." And kind of explain it, and then at the end, and it was not awkward at all because we're watching cat, and it was a cow, and at the end he goes, "That's what people do too," and it was like, "Oh!" And I think that might be like a really good way to have the talk because it wasn't awkward at all because it was like farm talk or something. And
it's like the literal birds and bees discussion.
It was literally birds and bees happening. It was like this natural thing that's going on over there. They're making some more calves. And I was like, what's going on there? No, they're making more calves. Now there's going to be some baby calves that will come out now. And oh, that's cool. And that's what people do too. Oh, fuck.
You mom do this?
Mom fucked the cow?
So what did you learn from your sex talk, and what are you going to do different with your son?
You know, it was very basic. It was not anything about, you know, anything
Any moves,
beyond
stimulation.
just
Yeah, like I could just in the corner of your screen see that thumb.
right. Yeah, it was very, you know, this is the most vanilla sex idea ever. This is all that will ever be required of you, and you know, and it was very. It seemed like it was, and this again is whatever 30 years removed, but it feels like it was something that he was not prepared for, and it was like somehow it was time, but you know, it got the job done. It's on my Wikipedia page. You can see we won a free wedding because we were the only couple in Georgia that was abstinent free before marriage, my wife and I, and so it's yeah, so it worked.
Wait, how did you get a free? How did your abstinence earn you a free wedding, and how did you prove said abstinence to the givers of the free wedding?
It was self-professed, but there was a contest out of like Rockdale County, where it's just like the STD capital of Georgia, which I live in. But they had said that they would give a free wedding to any couple that was abstinent, and they had 0 entrants. And so the fact that there was nobody entering this contest made the news, and so we had some friends and family say, "Hey, you all should enter," and I, you know, stupid, but we it was a thing to be able to afford.
How much did they give you?
It was like a package of like sponsored, donated things that was like $25,000-$30,000 worth of stuff. To be honest, it was so restrictive in terms of which vendors, which locations, and things like that, that we ended up unaccepting it because it wasn't even the way anybody would want to get married. And I don't think they went down the list of things, because they did end up after it made the news, they had tons of entries, but we still managed to win. But yeah, and so yeah, I mean, I think that'll probably be
it's almost like a lost leader fucking wedding, huh?
Right, exactly.
We used to sell a Ford Ranger that had no radio and the roll-up windows and the rubber floor mats. Like it just you had to special order it that way. They don't make them that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
They didn't have a radio. Like we just made a truck that no one would buy. We sold brand new 2005 Ford Ranger, 4,000. What? Whatever we were selling it for. It was legendary. And people come in like, "I want that $10,000 brand new Ranger you got." Well, here it is. Well,
Let me tell you what that's going to be.
I need tires. But over here's $16,000. It has tires, and that they buy that.
Who could say the Loch Ness monster?
Real. Yeah, I wish it was. That'd be cool. I wish there was magic in the world. Yeah, I feel like 2025 potential to be a dark year in human history. I think we'd find Foot or Nessie and just have magic back in the world. I think that's what we need. I think that would brighten everybody's day up.
That's the right crowd to distract from, and they'll have UFOs again and all the other aliens and all of that.
Did you ask which one's most likely to be alive, Taylor?
Yes, of all those fantastical creatures, which ones do you think are the most likely to be real? Loch Ness Monster, 0% chance. It's a fucking lake. We would have found it.
Unicorn. Dude, unicorn is way more believable than giraffe.
So there's no...
You know what?
No one believe...
No. If I told you that there was a horse with a 40-foot long neck that was spotted like a tiger, spotted like a bengal, I don't know what spotted, a jaguar,
leopard,
then you'd be like, that sounds like bullshit. A 40-foot tall jaguar with a neck and whatever. But a horse with a horn, like so many things have horns, that's totally reasonable.
Yeah, but they have them at the zoo.
Unicorns?
No.
Giraffes.
Giraffes, right?
I'm just saying, if you had an open mind about this, and I was trying to convince you that one of these two creatures was real, I bet you buy unicorn over giraffe.
And giraffes are like kind of, I guess it would be a duocorn, because it has those two nubs
Well,
on
yeah,
the
it's got
top
the
that it
little nubs
uses
up there.
to smash into other giraffes, fuck them up.
Horns.
If you want
Well, and having an extra long neck does not seem like ultimately an adaptation or an evolutionary advantage. Having a horn seems useful, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, you're right. From a I've never been outside before logic, I could see unicorn making more sense. But again, if we're talking about the likelihood that anything's real,
Yeah.
No.
But I mean,
think that-
imagine you're like a Celtish guy living in the year 65 up there in the British Isles, and someone describes to you, they have horses with horns. He'd be like, checks out. And he's like, also they have horses with two little horns that are like bigger than you can imagine, and they smash powerful muscular necks into one another. You'd be like, fuck yourself. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Taller than a house? I'm supposed to buy that? A horse taller than the house? It's mostly neck? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Absurd. Stop lying to me. Burn them alive or whatever they would do for.
I think
Their eye nerves run all the way down and back up. I think I heard that.
I don't know.
so
Giraffes
you're
are
saying
pretty
you
cool.
think we got a better chance of Bigfoot than Nessie?
Yeah,
So all
Nessie,
those-
no shot. It's just it's a big lake, but we'd find it in a fucking lake.
it's a lock, first of all. Let's get that straight.
We could have died. We could have.
All those things.
Could have died.
all those things existed, but none of them exist anymore. Is the thing, because Loch Ness Monster, whatever they draw, looks just like a plesiosaur, which is a dinosaur that used to live. There's this thing called Mekele Mbembe in maybe the Amazon or something. It's the idea of this small, long-necked dinosaur, kind of like Littlefoot from Land Before Time, that's been spotted there by tribespeople and spoken about for a long period of time. People go in there and they look for the supposed dinosaur that might still be in the jungle alive. And then the Gigantopithecus was the real-life Bigfoot that lived like 15 or 25,000 years ago. Like our ancestors would have rubbed shoulders with this gigantic ape man, and it was like they found it, so they go by. And
Is that North America or Europe,
Yes.
or where was it?
I
All
think
they
it was
found were
definitely
big
North
teeth?
America. I think that's all they found. Yeah.
I mean, that could have been my friend from high school.
That's also like, we talked about this. Sometimes you gotta watch those dinosaur guys, because they will bamboozle you into thinking something is sick when in reality, like hey, check out this image of this giant carnivore, and it's like, wow, that's fucking awesome. 20 feet tall, giant tail, wrecking stuff, total dominator of the continent. And then they're like, we figured it out from half, and what we believe could be a femur. And it's like, okay, well, you better be fucking sure before you get our hopes up, and then you rug pull us with like the Velociraptor thing again. I'll never forgive them for that.
So yeah, I think
There's like a smear campaign going on for dinosaur coolness right now, where people are trying to say that they were fat and feathery, and
they were.
Fucking were.
They were
Don't
fat and feathery.
10 years from now, they'll be being like, nope, we had it right.
Jurassic Park was dead on.
Yeah.
Like,
Are you team Ed? It sounds like you're on the right side of history here. You're on team dinosaurs rock. They're reptiles. They're scaled. They're ferocious. They wreck shit. And Kyle is on this like weird revisionist arc where he thinks they were birds.
I mean, some of them like
I'm
they
with
still
Kyle.
are
They're
birds.
flightless birds.
You ever see a chicken? Like pay attention to that motherfucker. It's clearly
No,
a little
never
dinosaur
seen a
there.
chicken.
Like that's
Chicken. We just stonewall them with lies.
over there with giraffes.
Wow.
Now you want me to believe in chickens? This guy.
I grew up on a chicken farm. Aren't I worldly? Sorry, we don't all have that privilege. No, when you talk about dinosaurs as if they're at all adjacent to chickens, it's like it's my childhood.
They're
Dinosaurs
ferocious,
rock, and I won't
giant
let
teeth.
you.
Birds don't have giant teeth.
you keep
Birds don't have
having
any.
with the rap. What he's talking about is how Jurassic Park was like, this is what a raptor looked like. These are raptors, and it turned out that what scientists call raptors were a smaller dinosaur that was shaped like that, but it was a smaller, less scary dinosaur. But it's like, there's a bunch of different dinosaurs called raptor. They just add a prefix onto it, right? There's like this kind of raptor and that kind. And there was like a bigger, scarier raptor that was just like the Jurassic Park fucking thing. The Utah raptor. Like, Google Utah raptor. I'm pretty sure that was a big boy. And then like the Allosaurus was always my favorite as a kid. The Allosaurus is like a smaller Tyrannosaurus Rex that I always thought of as like the more sporty version. Like I always thought of like the T-Rex as like lumbering, and like you could hide from it clearly in Jurassic Park. Like it won't see if you don't move. But I always thought of an Allosaurus as like halfway between a raptor and like a T-Rex.
There it is, Utah Raptor.
There you go. Can you imagine fucking with that bad boy? Look at his hands.
Get rid of the feathers.
He's gonna do
Yeah,
a ring
without the
dance
feathers,
all over
I'd be
you.
scared of it. With the feathers, I think I want one.
Can you imagine how hardcore you'd be with a headdress of those feathers and those claws on a necklace?
Oh my gosh.
Kyle, you
It's
believe
so much.
in fantasy. There were no feathered. They were scaled, and they were sick.
Lizard beasts.
Okay, whatever you want, like fantasy you want to live in. You know, but like, you got a picture of them right here in color. I mean, that's
This is a
like,
toy.
bro.
Look at a picture of him right here.
Picture it.
What are you talking about, man? This is Getty Images. I got a picture of the motherfucker.
It's just
right
strange
here.
that there's like nobody had like an incentive structure to make dinosaurs seem less awesome, but it's happening. Like we're emasculating the dinosaurs.
Yes.
Because there's an incentive structure to make them awesome. If you find a bone in the ground, it is to your advantage to say, this is a never seen before dinosaur. This is the Carolina Raptor. It's bigger and badder and cooler than all the other raptors, and that makes you famous and significant. That's why every time they dig up a half a molar, they invent this background story about how amazing it was.
Did we not
It's
please
just a
science anymore?
flameless bird.
Dude, my least
Look,
favorite
the only
conspiracy
science we're allowed
theory
to
of
deny here is climate science, all right?
we can deny whatever
This
we
is
want,
science.
and I deny feathers on dinosaurs. I don't
Yes, why
accept
do you
it
care?
because I
Tell
want
us,
them
tell
to be lizards. I want them to be cool.
And giraffes are fake.
You know the most offensive
Hey, watch the
personally.
Godzilla
The most offensive conspiracy theory to me personally are these fucking bastards out there who are like, did you know that like dinosaurs aren't even real? It's like, fuck you. Yes, they were. They were real. They were magnificent. They were giant lizards that roamed the planet.
That's the right wingers, buddy. That's the young earthers that don't believe in the dinos. That or they believe that we lived alongside them.
I don't like
And
that
I'm
one
sorry.
bit.
And I'm sorry, I can get on board with a lot. But when we read the Bible, I just don't want to read it literally. If God says 7 days, I doubt he meant 7 24-hour days.
If someone showed me definitive evidence that dinosaurs weren't real, I'd be actually upset. I'd be
I'll
like,
let you in
fucking
driver after
liar.
this,
Don't you get
Subaru.
them to sign off on this?
If it was it turned out to be some Barnum and Bailey shit. Like they invented a whole science.
They just fooled us.
Steven Spielberg was in on it. Like it was a whole fucking wool over our. That would be hurtful if it turned out they were real. I would
I was
question
obsessed with dinosaurs as a kid. I would be devastated.
But narwhal is the one that most people are surprised.
Yeah, I forgot you're a snake guy. So you
right.
You know, you put your money where your mouth is on the dinosaurs.
That's exactly right. I
Also
was
true.
an alligator.
Yeah, big snakes back then have feathers.
Absolutely.
According to revisionists like Kyle, yeah.
That's right. Just feathery snakes.
Is a corn snake a good beginner snake?
Are you?
As long as it doesn't get insanely huge, most snakes are perfectly fine. I have a boa constrictor, which is perfect and friendly, and the kids were playing with it today. So a lot of people go and go to pet store and get a ball python, which are fine. They don't get huge, but they are not all that social. Not that any of them are dogs, but it's not, snakes can be a bit cat-like, but they'll tolerate you nicely. But a ball python's nocturnal and doesn't really care, and so I'm a big boa constrictor fan, and they do well, and they only get big enough that a single person can handle them. You start to get Burmese pythons, reticulated pythons, or Korean anacondas, then you got to have a team, and nobody has time for
Are
that.
you thinking about getting a snake?
Oh, I've had a few, yeah.
I think you would be wondering why I asked the question. Corn snake was a good start. I'm not that serious about it, but I go to these like conferences for people who keep saltwater fish.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
a lot of times there's overlap with the snake people, and in the stores actually, one of my local saltwater reef stores, half of it is devoted to snakes. So I always wander over there and see the snakes. And
Are you?
wonder a little?
Are you not interested at all in mantis shrimp? I know it comes with its own particular challenges, and you want to keep it its own little deal though. Like I just like the idea of I watched this YouTuber who has a mantis shrimp, and he also has this other predatory fish, and they live together in almost a
I know him.
work together
I don't
kind
know
of.
him personally. I know their content.
Yeah, it's good. He's like, my mantis shrimp Bobby kills everything his eyes land upon, but he tolerates Jimmy. I think that maybe him and Jimmy are working together, because Jimmy will flush out these little fish that try to hide and kind of show, and it's like they were kind of working together to kill the bait fish he was throwing in there.
That other fish he has, I think it's a damsel. Damsels get like 1 and 1.5 inches, and they will bully 8-inch fish. Now you would think an 8-inch fish is 8 times bigger than a 1-inch fish. Rethink that. You know,
it's a shark.
An 8-inch fish probably weighs like 100 times what a 1-inch fish weighs. The difference is just huge, and little damsels bully them. So I feel like that damsel is not the pushover you might think it is, because it's baby goldfish size, but it's actually a pretty aggressive, mean fish that's perfect for it. So yeah, there's one of those at the store. They say the mantis shrimp can break the glass aquarium it's in, because they hit at, is it 200 miles an hour? Am I exaggerating? How fast?
I think it's fast. I think it's faster than that. They hit incredibly fast or hard or something.
Holy cow!
They have this like prey mantis sort of punch they do, and they don't hit with their hands. They hit with the shock wave of the water, and it has like a 1.5 inch range or something. So they'll get near like a hermit crab and break its shell and eat the insides by just punching the water, which water doesn't compress, you know how that works, and it hits the shell and breaks it, and it makes a loud clicking sound like in the room. You can hear it, and the fear is they could do that to the glass. But even though everyone knows they can do it, I've never known anyone who's ever seen it happen.
Okay.
So I don't know what's true. It might be there with the female orgasm, like just a myth.
That's it.
Bullshit.
Until I see one, I won't buy it.
So you have a big saltwater tank?
Yeah, big. So my bigger one is 150 gallons with like another 60 underneath, and the smaller one is 25.
Now, how complicated is the water chemistry to maintain them?
That's like the hobby to me. Like I have an automated tester that tests it 4 or 6 times a day, and I watch how it's doing all the time. And my the dosing I put into it, which is like calcium chloride, sodium hydroxide, calcium or whatever that is, magnesium I could go on, it reacts to those test results. So if something's a little high, it backs off of it. If something's a little low, it kicks it up a bit and keeps my chemistry in check. For me, like maintaining water chemistry is kind of the hobby. Like I'm chemistry, my wife, she's livestock. So she really likes all the fish and the corals and watches it like super closely. And I kind of watch the numbers, and like we have a software, like it's a little website that shows us the chemistry of our 2 different tanks. And I check those out like all the time. I have it on my phone.
And do you share water between the tanks? Does it circulate?
No. As a matter of fact, right now, the bigger tank corals are dying. And I think there's like a pathogen in it or something. So we make really sure not to cross as best we can. If we move something from one tank to the other, we dip it in, some sort of medicine. Could be hydrogen peroxide, could be iodine, but we make sure that they're sanitized before they switch tanks.
Has your love for the hobby waxed still in it all, or waned?
When I got sick, I sort of like backed off the tank a little bit, and then I re-engaged in the last 10 days or so.
Okay. Yeah, I don't eat fish, but I think I said it last week. I've been watching one of those YouTube channels where they've got like a bunch of little goats and sheep and stuff, and like a miniature, like not a real farm, but like a pretend farm. I kind of want a pretend farm situation. I kind of want some. And this other YouTuber, he uses goats as pack animals. So he's got these little like vests that strap onto his goats, their back, like a dog harness, and he's like got all this gear on his goats, and he's like, reason number 1 why the goat is a superior pack animal. Lightning strikes, predator comes around, horse will run 10 miles from you back to home. Goat, run straight to you. They're pack animals. You are their protection. It's like one short after another. Read number 37 why the it's like on dude loves his ghosts, and he's got this whole pack of ghosts, and he's fucking backpacking on, running around the wilderness with him. It's great.
Have you seen the Florida man who's always collecting things from the swamp?
Oh yeah.
No.
Love this
Oh,
guy.
does he go and like boop the animals?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh, I love that guy too.
He's
Oh, man.
fearless. I don't want to be in that swamp at night. And
He's
Like,
barefoot, getting bit by everything.
right. He forgives the animal instantly for attacking him. He's like, don't do that. No.
I mean, that's a special kind of wild. I mean, most of what he's doing is obviously python hunting and pulling in invasive species out, which is a fascinating thing to watch. But I mean, yeah, they all bite him always, and
He doesn't care.
I mean, getting bit by a snake isn't the worst thing in the world as long as you know it's non-venomous. And there was one of those guys though that got bit by a rattlesnake the other day and was super hospitalized.
I saw that video. The one where he's like, I just got bit by a rattlesnake, and he shows the dead rattlesnake, and then they skip forward. He's like, well, they drove me to the hospital, and then they airlifted me here. I've had 15 units of antivenom, and then he shows the leg. He's like, I don't think it's working. The leg is swollen and it's starting to, it's necrotic. Venom is.
Oh,
it
what the
starts
fucking
digesting
cunt,
you,
dude.
And it turns your blood. Zach, see if you can find that video
Coagulates.
of what rattlesnake venom does.
Jesus.
To blood. They just inject
God
some
damn
into
it, dude.
a thing of blood, and it coagulates and rots. And it's like, oh my god, I'd rather be.
Did you know how the story ends?
Fuck.
I think he's okay. I mean, if you get bitten in the extremity, you're within 100 miles of a hospital, you're probably going to be generally all right.
Is it a good
with most North American snakes? We're not talking about Indian snakes.
If there's rattlesnakes in your region, they have anti-venom at a hospital in your region. Like
They're gonna Dr. Flight away.
And they're gonna
There
fly
you go.
you.
Yeah.
Look at that. How disgusting. That's inside you now.
That's
Can you imagine? And that, oh my god, the infection, the sepsis, I've seen people lose huge chunks of their body. That's probably one of those situations where they use the maggots. Have you ever seen maggot therapy, Taylor?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I love maggot therapy. Dude, I almost wish I'd be horribly injured so I could have some. I bet it tickles.
Oh.
So for those who don't know, there are certain
It makes total sense. It's a good idea. Like back in the day, it's like, hey, you got
now they do it now.
You got a bunch of I guess now because
It's superior.
a maggot is better than even the best surgeon because a maggot's going to be like living flesh. That's not my jam. I eat the dead flesh. They're
will
very
take
picky.
who have the gangrenous or septic type wounds where a lot of their sometimes with frostbite even a lot of the tissue needs to be removed, but they want to keep as much as they can keep, so they'll put these special maggots, they're like medical maggots, all over the wound and then wrap it and send you home. And come in whenever, I guess the next day, and the next day they come
in, they turn to flies.
They come in the next day and they change the guy's maggots. And I just remember seeing the before and after. It goes from a rotten wound to pink, healthy flesh. And
Oh, no, you fucking don't.
Scrap the bad.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Dude, old
I
time.
saw a similar taxidermy
God.
strategy for snakes because my first book.
I swear, the IQ drops the moment you get into fucking Arkansas.
But they will let bugs eat
Dumb
the flesh
people out
away and pose the skeleton as a taxidermy thing, and you can kind of put it in like a shadow box. And I was like, if I thought about that might have been a cool thing to have with the 9-foot boa constrictor.
The snake skeleton is very cool. I like when I see snake skeletons.
Especially with the fangs.
I wouldn't want a snake in my house otherwise, but the skeleton part would be neat.
Yeah.
You take
I just
a
don't think I could bond with a snake very well.
Not only that, I remember a snake was in my uncle's house one time, and everybody made fun of him because he got the shotgun out, a little huge hole in the laundry room wall, killing the snake. He was like, he escaped into the wall, into the inside of the house. I had to burn the motherfucker down. I can't cohabitate with a snake. And he meant it.
He meant it, yeah. No.
My grandpa grew up in, the boonies in southern Missouri with no running water as a farmer, and he told the story of his great uncle who lived in a log cabin down there, and a raccoon. He said it was, according to his great uncle, he said this was the biggest raccoon he ever did see, and it was in his house, in his cabin, and he tried to grab it, throw it out the cabin, and it bit the tip of his finger plumb off. And I was like, oh my god, like that's a, and I'm like, really? Like you saw it? And he's like, yeah, I seen his finger plumb off from here.
That was the reason given.
A raccoon. People used to give him shit sometimes. He said, you ain't been giving me shit. You seen this raccoon? The size of it, my dogs couldn't have handled it.
Fuck this.
The ocean. Wanted to keep a saltwater tank in our house. Use fresh ocean or like, canal water to replenish it constantly without much maintenance.
Constantly, I mean, I guess, yeah, but they do that. In Australia, the norm, they all live by the water. The norm is for them to just buy salt water from the ocean.
Oh, thank you,
they
sir.
Test it, and citric
We're a 1 in a million for letting me in.
I know a guy in Florida who's a real expert. He's a PhD in this stuff, and he also.
Thank you very much.
Lives on there's a canal, like a bay behind him, and he just takes it there, but it's.
Right, like they just make the regulation. They're
You're a fucking.
It does beg the question when that like you got the ocean there, why are you running ginormous protein skimmers and such?
right, just in and out, right?
Right. Yeah. In theory, it seems like it'd be cheaper to replace, I don't know, a quarter of the water daily than it would be to filter it and maintain it.
Sure,
But
sure.
I don't know why
I
people does it the way they do, but yeah, hobbyists do get water from the ocean in some places.
Because to me, that's a fun novelty, the idea of a big saltwater tank. But I think if you like fish, you'll love a snake because it's, you can get it out and play with it.
Yeah. And if I fish of the land.
I have a fish that loves to be hand-fed. So that's kind of
Well, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. You
You get a sea snake. Although I don't think there are any sea snakes that aren't like unbelievably dangerous, right?
Yeah. Seems like most of them are very venomous. Or at least that's what
Very venomous, not very dangerous.
So very like.
They're all rear fang. They can't bite bodies.
Really? My only fish that likes to be pet is venomous, but he's really sweet.
He's coaxing you into a state of relaxation.
Dude, venomous fish are the best because they're not
bright.
They're not aggressive. Like like I have a little, he's a yellow striped fish, you wouldn't care. But anytime someone picks on him, he just faces them and he's like, "Do you really want to do this?" And they're like, "Never mind." And he doesn't have to like run around and prove his superiority all the time. He's like, "You want to deal with these fangs?" And they're like, "Change my mind." The big one wouldn't get picked on probably just because of his size, but he has venom coming out of his
Fucking
spine.
box
It's a
truck,
dorsal
man.
thing. It's pretty cool.
That is
But yeah, I like.
Is it a thing that angelfish are like invading Florida reefs? Like the ones the spiny, flowery ones that I've seen guys on Instagram.
shit.
Lionfish are invading reefs all over the world. Yeah, they're a invasive species, and everywhere I know of, you're allowed to kill lionfish.
They got these modified Glocks. They're down there popping them with pistols.
Really?
Yeah.
Zach, can you show a picture of a lionfish?
Can you eat these, Woody? Are they useful at all?
You can eat them, but it takes a little knowledge to deal with them because they're venomous.
And they're spiny. They don't look like a fish that you would eat.
You know who eats them? The sailing leviathan.
Oh, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, the venom is, I think it's in the spines.
You know what's worse than these are those Asian carp.
Oh man, I just saw the guy's hand.
Fuck!
I don't think
God.
the juice is worth the squeeze on these
All
things.
my fucking momentum,
It's so
dude.
annoying with the little fillet knife. to get
Jesus.
Well, yeah, but I think they're not that hard to catch with a, what's the harpoon gun called?
Spear.
You know, the underwater divers would use it.
harpoon?
I think you, yeah.
I just got it right. Okay, that was lucky.
I got a modified block
Squish.
where you
For Woody on the harpoon.
So anyway, I think they're easy to catch with harpoon, but they're not fast to swim. They just sort of sit there as stationary targets, and people like to kill them. And,
Have you seen? So Asian carp are invasive species. The Mississippi River is
that
90% Asian carp now. All the other, everything else.
Oh,
is dead.
you're gonna go for it anyway.
And they get agitated very easily.
God
so
damn
if a
it.
boat is in the water, they jump out of the water in mass, and they can weigh like 60 fucking pounds. So people have died. People get hit regularly. The boats there have these big cages around them, like coke cages in the Ukrainian war, but for Asian carp. And so in response, all sorts. I've seen people shoot with shotguns. They go out there and they're blowing them up with shotguns in the air. I've seen people shoot them with bows, and they're trying to keep them out of the Great Lakes. So there's this like lock system that connects the Great Lakes to the Mississippi, and they have it electrified. They have and the barges and stuff with people in them have to pass through these electrified, and it's like everyone has to go inside the boat. No one can be on the outside of the boat because if you fall in, it'll kill you. It's and what else were they doing? They had like sound barriers, electricity, and something else. So they were looking into CO2, like all sorts of things, just to like not allow one single Asian carp get into the Great Lakes. And some piece of shit's gonna throw some Asian carp in the Great Lakes to be a piece of shit. There's some Chinese guy over here right now starting fires in California, throwing Asian carp by the bundle.
I bring them down slowly.
We just called him carp.
Yeah, just call.
Are they good to eat, Asian carp?
No,
apparently they're very they're fine to eat, but I guess they're very bony, and so it's a pain in the ass to flay them to a lot of fish. But all this talk about the Mississippi being full of Asian carp reminds me of that meme story where Missouri has one shark attack on record of someone was swimming in the Mississippi and got fucked up by a bull shark that had just like, I guess, made its way. That are like
the Jaws story. Yeah, they went inland into New Jersey through those brash waters, and like when the Jaws shark attack happened in Jersey. It was crazy how far in there. Bull sharks in particular can tolerate very brackish, bordering upon freshwater.
Yeah, they're like the utilitarian.
All that traffic was because of one truck sitting there going fucking 55.
Mississippi, that's north of it. That must be freshwater by there.
I have no idea how that worked, but I know if you look at like shark attacks by state, it's like Florida over 500, California over 500, and then it's like, how the fuck is Missouri a shade of light pink? Like, there's states upon states between us in every direction. Like, you'd literally have to go to the zoo and jump in a tank to get a benchmark in Missouri, but I guess not. I guess some poor little kid got fucked up.
In that video there, they're shooting Asian carp with the 12-gauge shotguns out of the boat. Because again, the motorboat agitates the fish and they just leap out of the water like crazy. And there's millions of them. Millions of them. It's
he is not making a dent in this fish population.
No.
I watched a video, I got like into animal YouTube again, which sometimes takes me down through interesting paths. And it was like about global wars between different types of ants and colonies and how they succeed, and like it showed where they had strongholds. And apparently that tiny little annoying type of ant that was originally from, it's called the Argentine ant, and it got moved around all over the world through shipping lanes and whatnot. And even though it's like smaller than like fire ants and a lot of things like that, they're just like, they're like the Zerg in StarCraft, or they're like goblins in Lord of the Rings. Like, oh, okay, yeah, we suck relatively in battle against these leafcutter ants, but every time they bring one guy, we bring 3,000 guys. And they're the ants where like you can see the big ants getting their limbs pulled off by all of them in different directions, and it was explaining how, like, originally the way it worked was there were huge battles in Argentina between these different ants because they have multiple queens, and so they would go out, whereas a lot of ants only have one queen. And so they would spread out a little bit, but then over time their genetic diversity would change so much that they wouldn't even recognize the other colonies as the same species, and so they'd have like civil wars basically. But it only took a few queens initially to like France or whatnot, and so there wasn't enough genetic diversity there for them to ever identify that they were enemies, and so it was just like a constant, enormous, expanding swarm of these ants who were just destroying all the bug life.
Did you say what they're called?
The Argentine ants, right?
Crazy ants. They're called crazy ants, and they have evolved the ability to release the or something. Or the crazy ants.
Okay, fine.
They were themselves different fire ants.
We are all story. The fire battle in our region.
Okay.
Full team.
We use these worms, gooey, long worm. Oh, I don't know what to call it, but they're every time I read, like you can cut them into a million pieces and how many it will be, but there is some kind of new invasive worm that is coming around Georgia.
Yikes.
Interesting.
Let's see.
That's it.
Oh no! It's that thing from fucking. Mouth.
Oh, fuck.
Disgusting mouth.
Pallium.
I was in Georgia. There were no armadillos.
Yeah,
And now
there were none. When I was a kid, there were none.
That's and now they're all over the place. Only dead. I've never seen a live one in Georgia. They're dead on every.
Yeah, I with that. I remember the first time I saw Armadillo, I was a kid, and there was a valley like an hour south of Athens, and we drove down there because we thought we were going to see titties. Kept seeing penis, and we came back home. But on the way back home, I saw an armadillo running across the road for the first time, and I thought I'd seen a guy. I was like, "Is that an armadillo?" And we slam on the brakes, jump out of the truck, start chasing this bitch through the woods, trying to catch it by hand. It got away. But they've been definitely migrating north because I've seen them in Athens. Like,
Dude, I've seen them here.
It's
like
crazy.
Not that we're a northern state here, but like we're further north than you guys. Like,
We're not Texas.
yeah, they shouldn't be in Missouri. That's fucking ridiculous.
that
And they're
didn't
only ever dead. I've
break
never seen a
my
living
fucking
armadillo. All they do is invade and then get fucked up by like civics.
We were in Texas, and we saw an armadillo and it rolled up in a ball. Dude that's with him. Got them armored shells. Take a hell of a punch, knock through one of them.
Okay, I think I'm good.
What the fuck are you talking about, dude? It's armored
Fuck.
as far as animal skin goes. No, that's armor.
As far as
That's armor right there. Yeah, it's like a bullet. And I've got a fucking 308 AR. I'm armed. Yeah, I'm like, dude.
Or would you like to make an enormous bet on this?
I want to do what I do, like plus or minus 80 fire ant deaths in the U.S. per year. Start thinking about that. And so I vaporized this fucking armadillo with the armor didn't work. He was genuinely thought he was like bullet will bounce off. I heard one time a guy shot one with pistol, bullet bounced off, killed another fellow. He's telling me this bullshit. We're out in Texas, and I'm standing there like.
The armadillo was just sitting there minding his business atop of this thick steel plate.
Armadillo.
And then I shot him and it ricocheted off. Sure it wasn't steel.
Plus or minus 80 deaths per year in the U.S.
Last time I tussled with you in these weird obscure bets, I owed you a steam engine, and you still haven't put it together. And so I'm going to say
steam engine. I bet it's over. I bet it's 250.
there's just no way.
going high.
I mean,
The way you would
anaphylaxis is a powerful. I mean,
see, but also like I see what you're saying, but I don't know how many would need to bite you to do that. Like you'd have to really fuck up and 80 deaths.
If you step on a mountain, you don't know it, you'll be stung 15 times easily before you can stop.
I'm gonna say 112.
I am gonna say 76 total. And Ed said like 250, so he
83. 80.
oh man, you picked a
I was
strategic.
thinking, actually, you know, I was closest. So,
Yeah, that's where they
so you can go ahead and
that is a
shoot that
lame-
engine on back.
That is a lame death. No, sorry anyone out there who lost a loved one fire ant attack, but man, that's a lame way to go. That's embarrassing.
Were you ever
You
around
don't
someone?
want to say granddad died of fire ants.
A friend of mine like stepped in a fire ant nest or hive or whatever you would call it, colony, and he got bit a lot and he was crying a lot, but we were also 6, and so I thought he was like kind of being a whiner about it, but I respected the fire ants distance. Then I'm like, all right, I'm not going near these guys. Imagine they'd be like that's a pain to a beating, but I way less.
No, it's. I mean, you're annoyed, but it's not. I don't think it's hurt. Like fire.
Isn't it very? Wasn't your time that you would? Wasn't
Aesthetic or something.
Sick.
Yeah.
Alpha together. That's what I said. Oh, it's under his.
I think it's sitting on my. Drawer.
He's cool.
Oh,
No, it's the moment it, honey, you. It's like I.
yeah, this is a sim. Give it.
I mean, and so he. That's it.
yeah, look at that. Really pumping.
Yeah.
Hitting a lot of power rep.
For that.
Yeah. I don't.
So
Far.
Still problems.
Anybody, man, I believe that. So, create coming my.
Like these
They carry-
ants are causing problems. Those carp are causing problems. The armadillos, like, even
60.
get hit by one. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Bases contract. See, Padillo and
know the answer to that, but after I grabbed one in Texas, that I assumed that there must be a video.
Yeah,
Chased an armadillo. I chased him down, and he went into. This is the second time I chased an armadillo. I tried to go into the rope, grabbed him by his legs, but I felt like the bull's hard enough, so I let him go.
engine.
I know engine now. Cool times. Put it together. Likely.
Zach says we can get leprosy.
Never read those books I sent you.
Never read them. You sent those on your own guard. That's on you. Okay.
Sent
When
me
I
a book,
send you,
read it.
didn't care or not. It was more of a look at book than a read book. I've sent you a couple books, but look, you sent me the Stormlight Archive. Like I'm supposed to get into a 15-book series. I'm not interested about magic and shit. I don't need you, silly universe that you both gave up on. You both gave up on.
That's true. He lost. It wasn't as good. Now the 5th book came out. I'm really not that motivated to read.
my chat, I'm streaming on right again, said that the 5th book turned it around, and that it is like a month up 2 or 3.
Well, it is on my copy. I'll have to actually
chat not the most reliable source for information.
No.
What did you think of the 40K novel that I sent you?
The Krieg one.
Yeah.
It was good. There was a lot of action. I often found myself like feeling sad for the men of the warriors of Krieg, because it's like, man, these guys have like gotten a raw deal. Clearly they got a raw deal, and now they're like expected to fight for the Imperium. But really, the book you gave me was more like the inner workings of their society and like from their perspective, and it just seemed dismal. It's like they're wearing gas masks 24/7 because everything is so poisonous. Like there's no quality of life. They're almost eager for death, because like almost like a Viking Valhalla thing where they're like, please just, can one of these goblin bullets just take me out so I don't have to live this horrid existence.
The story is this planet, half of it sort of rebelled, and half of it wanted to stay with the Emperor of Mankind, the good side, half of it wanted to rebel, and the Civil War ruined the planet. In the end, the Imperial loyalists won out, but the resulting war and the weapons that were used ruined their planet in a way that it's never going to recover from. So they have no agriculture, they have no mining. All they have are the children of Krieg to pay back the vows that they owe the Imperium of Man. And they give, and they give, and they give. And they are a cult. The entire planet is a cult for the Imperium, essentially. And so every child is born and goes into the military. They're all soldiers of Krieg, and they're very World War I gas mask, trench coat, and shovel looking. And when you read the book, you find out how they get so many, because when they finally, there's this part in the book where they've been out of contact with Earth for like thousands of years or something, and the Earthlings are like, hey, we got a message from Krieg? They say they're good to go again, and they've got some soldiers for us. How many do they have? It's like 20 million. What do you mean 20 million? They've got 20 million, 10 more million on the way. They want to serve the Emperor. They asked for one. They made one request. They want to be sent to the most hazardous fights, the worst fighting, the most dangerous battles. And so, like, the soldiers of Krieg literally do want to die, because in dying for the Emperor, they pay back what they owe for that betrayal. And so they are the most. They're just regular men, by the way. They're not superheroes, jacked up guys. They're just dudes, and they're the most.
They're pretty jacked up.
Of the like infantry in the 40K universe, they're kind of top tier, and fans love them because of the aesthetic and how hardcore they are. There's I was watching a great animation the other day, and like one of the Kriegsmen is like burning alive as he crawls to like the switch to like blow up all the bad guys. And, like, that's very Krieg, just like loving that you're burning alive so you can crawl, blow everybody up. It's great.
Just yearning for death.
It's a good book too. The book really focuses just on the Krieg. I like that.
A lot of battle scenes in that book.
You don't like that?
It would be like, no, it was just funny where it would be like, because dialogue is what I enjoy the most, the character development and the intrigue. But the Krieg book, it's like, man, these guys are really straightforward, and it's like, all right, here's 2 pages of dialogue and then another chapter of them like fucking up bad guys, or they're almost kind of the bad guys, even in the Imperium. Yeah. Even though that's the only I've read of AK. Obviously, Team Human, Hardcore Team Imperium, all these aliens can get fucked. Humanity's time
is
to shine.
Not about like color of people. It's about
it's about speciesism.
Like the hatred for the Xenos, the alien, is part of the religion. It's one of the commandments. It's the fucking mutants, the Avians, the Xenos, the heretics.
They're part of the Imperium, the human side.
Yeah, there's a million worlds of humanity at this point, and they're all like separated throughout the galaxy.
And the humans are the good guys. If you're human,
there are no good guys.
If you're human, there's a good. Like the xenomorphs, if you're a xenomorph, they're the good guys.
Humans do.
Yeah, of course. I'm human. I want us to win.
They're pretty awful to each other.
And they're like, the humans are bullying this planet. It's like, boo-hoo. I don't care about these mantis people.
Still right.
No, what's right is what's good for humanity.
No, but I like the fight scenes. I like the superpowered humans. I like all that shit. And I love how dark it is, how awful it is. and how most like the characters just die left and right. These terrible deaths sometimes. It's I like the YouTubers that do the lore, but now that I've discovered some of these novels, I'm kind of sucked into them. Henry Cavill is supposedly still making that big project with Amazon in the Warhammer 40K universe. I expect it to be like a TV show with 10 or 12 episodes set in the Warhammer 40K universe, but that's all anybody knows. Nobody knows like who he's going to play or what part of the and the people that know even as much as I know about the lore are like, how do you tell that story in 10 episodes? Like, where do you start? You'd have to start at like some little.
You'd have to tell a little microcosm of a story. Yeah.
You
like
have
the
to tell
Marvel
them.
universe, right? Just 31 movies.
Yeah.
31? Is that really the number?
Is it 31? 31 sounds about right.
Yeah.
You know, just my finger on the pulse for the Marvel universe is solely you guys, and based on how much less you guys have referenced, talked about Marvel over the past couple of years now, I think that's over as far as its immense popularity.
It's got the last gasp of the Marvel universe is going to be Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is going to make $1 billion at least. It's going to be it's going to be one of the biggest movies of this year. It's going to be like top 3 this year, biggest movies. Doctor Doom, the return of Robert Downey Jr. in that role. If they do a good job of that, then that could be the 10th pole that they hang a new like go at this at. But they gotta have good characters behind these roles. I know the new Captain America is, it's the black guy is the new Captain America. He has been for a while, but he's finally getting his standalone movie. And they've done like 2 rounds of reshoots, and audiences keep not liking it. It's like,
wait, you mean they changed the character they're familiar with and they didn't like it?
It happens in the comics.
That happens.
But
well, he died.
I heard something about the Doctor Doom movie, and it was just that they were starting it slow. Like, they're not trying to make another Endgame. They're trying to make another Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
That ramps up into a whole universe.
Sure.
Which is interesting. I don't know if the audience has the appetite for Iron Man 1. They just wanted to get better every time. We'll see if they're interested in a reboot. But I have a question for Ed. So I watch your channel, and you take regular people who have done interesting card things, and you help them tell a story. They're not professional storytellers like you are, so you help them along. Have you ever, like, I don't know, hit the editing room and been like, you know what? This guy just sucks. This guy, I don't know the word for verbally illiterate, but that's what he is. And there's no way to cut this up into something that I'm willing to upload. Some people just can't speak. Does that happen?
Yes, absolutely. Now, we have a lot of edits in a normal story, so, we find that like 8 to 12 minutes is kind of the sweet spot for a YouTube story, type clip, whatever you'd call it. When we started, that was the whole video, but like now people take podcasts and trim them down into 10-minute segments and make their own things. And so, singular concept YouTube video, 10, 12 minutes is really the sweet spot. And so, generally we're going to have dozens of cuts in a 10-minute video. And so what the procedure is generally like, tell me what happened, and then let's build the right intro to establish the sufficient context for it all to make sense. And then let's try to wrap it up with a better outro that like offers some lesson for the audience and builds the story into something coherent. But yes, there are plenty of times where I'm like, man, this guy's story would be so good if he could just tell it. And it happens, of course.
Can you be more charismatic, sir?
How do you rob a jewelry store?
I mean,
see, you introed this really fascinating thing, and then you didn't allow applause there for the audience to ruminate. Can you do that?
well, we can edit in the pause. Like we can work on timing, but we can't make all the words. And that's why the notion of like AI animation would give me more coverage to be able to edit more, and potentially even get to the point where I can just use their voice and I can create phrases that bridge gaps that I need. Like, there is some excitement about AI integration with storytelling from a presentation to a virtual audience perspective rather than just standing, in a bar or whatever. But it is a thing for sure. Like, the perfect example is there's a there's a car called the Cocaine Hammer. And so in the 80s there were, and early 90s, there were AMG modified 300 CE cars that are called Hammers, and they were the fastest cars in the world at the time. And they lived a long time of being not terribly valuable. And so these cars transacted for like, $8,000, $10,000, $20,000, and they're now worth about $1 million each. There's about 30 of them that are like canonically Hammers. And that's a long story for another day. But we had a sponsor that was an auction company that was selling one of them. And they could not compose the story of this car. And I sat over in my chair, which is on the other side of this room, behind the camera, listening to this over and over again, and it just really couldn't come together. And finally, I just went, like, while they were talking, I opened my computer, went on their website, bid on the car, knowing that I wasn't going to bid remotely enough to end up owning it. And I was just like, all right, you sit here, I'm going to sit there, and I'm going to tell the story as the high bidder of the guy that found this car for sale. And I can compose the story of this guy who bought this more than a Lamborghini Countach modified Mercedes in Beverly Hills, and the first thing he did was stuff it full of drugs and drive as fast as he could to Vegas. And he was going so fast that he didn't actually realize he was being pursued by a whole fleet of police cars. So he pulls into,
Here, give it to me. I'll do it.
was it Circus, I think? And they all just swarmed him, tackled him, and they seized the car, and they used it as a cop car for like a year, and then they sold it to a professional baseball player. So the car has this crazy good story, but they just couldn't get it out. And so sometimes we can help. But yep, that's the Cocaine Hammer right there. Rare is a 2-door. They're almost all 4 doors. But
that sucks.
yeah. And so it worked out great. It ended up directing enough traffic to their auction that it sold for a record price, and so everybody was happy. But there are some of those. I've got a guy coming that I have that fear because he, in terms of experience, he should be the greatest car storyteller of all time. But he's not a very good storyteller in the limited experience that I have. He's the guy who fraudulently drove a Bugatti into the Galveston Bay, blaming it as an insurance fraud strategy. But he's going to pay, which is really interesting. But he, so time, I had one guy, it was a like he's the guy that tells the story. It's just not his style to do.
How much do you do to set them up more, like bullet points or an outline?
The problem is if you tell them to outline it or you tell them to really plan, it'll always be robotic and terrible. And so the best thing is to pour them some Vin whiskey and let it kind of happen. There's a very sweet spot of inebriation. And,
I think Rogan's done that too. Like he'll often get his people hired.
Vin whiskey, check it out.
Yeah, Vin whiskey. You guys see it. Yeah, Rogan does that too. He feels like he can get better content by lubing up.
You said like the weed part. I would, if I were trying to get a good story out of someone, I would be like, don't touch the weed. No, don't even think about smoking weed right now. Let's get you a couple shots or beers or whatever is your like social lubricant of choice. Because at least me personally, like if it was like, all right, Taylor, you have to tell this story, take a giant hit of weed. I'd like it'd be in the middle of the story and I would be thinking that I said the previous sentence weird and it would throw me off because I'd be like, and then I told them, fuck you. And then like in my head, I'd be like, did you say that in a weird voice? Did you say fuck you? And it's like, it is not for storytelling.
Right.
When you
show, I didn't. I mean, people are fucking me over. Buy from it. Like you. No. Trying to talk. Email. Like I mean. But
What's your email address, Zach?
Go ahead and send them one. Yeah,
But
no, weed
anyway.
is definitely terrible for storytelling.
telling a story.
Occasionally somebody will show up and say, man, I just smoked a joint. I feel like I'm right there, ready to do it. I'm like, this will be terrible. He goes, plan on going back.
Finish my story. Taylor said, I'm sure that made sense to you. And I was like, yeah. Maybe you guys can carry the show for this.
Oh, no, yeah, dude, weed for doing a talk show is the worst. Like, the only person worse to talk to than a guy on a show, at least, who's like really fucking weed is who's yak cocaine, because they also are talking in a way that only makes, and it can be short-term entertaining. But if you've ever been around someone really down on, it's annoying shit. They're reiterating constantly. They're not hitting time story. Just they're telling it. They're going through a mental list of things they want to say as rapidly as possible because they feel that every thought is fleeting, and that something else might take its space in the next second or two. So yeah, if you want stories, you're on the money. Give them a little Vin whiskey. Get them not too drunk, just in there.
Right. Yeah, there's a sweet spot. It can get real
Hypothetically, cocaine? I've never done it. I don't know.
No, cocaine is bad. Yeah, if you've been around
really?
people who are really doing a lot of coke, the meme is 100% true. They're like gassing each other up and talking about prospective business ideas that don't make any sense. It's like, no one wants DoorDash for pets, you fucking idiot. Like, stop.
You're real verbal though, right? And they get motor mouthy.
They are, but they get motor mouthy, and it's not.
It's not good content.
Maybe I have a bad experience with it. Like, Kyle, have you been around people doing a bunch of coke, and do you have that same experience of it's kind of obnoxious?
Yeah, anytime someone's on like Adderall or uppers in general, it's really obnoxious. But I feel that way about alcohol. Like nothing upsets me more than trying to talk to a drunk person, a really drunk person, especially a fucking girl who's not as pretty as she thinks she is, and she's fucking drunk.
All of them.
So I would rather like do anything than listen to that person talk one more slurred, disgusting word. More than anything. So I think I'd rather talk to a coke person than like a sloppy drunk person. Like a little loosened up and inebriated is fine, but like a sloppy drunk person, if you're sober, a sloppy drunk person is so obnoxious. So
That's fair. There is a big difference. Ed and somebody like a couple whiskeys and someone who's sloshed, like with disjointed thought processes and not finishing their story.
Well, but to be fair, like a funny guy can be funny when he's sloshed. Like that's I'm talking about an unfunny. This person wasn't going to tell you a good story sober. Like I'm just saying I don't like talking to drunk people.
It's annoying. They get loud. I don't like it when they touch me. Like
what the fuck?
Put their arm around me, and it's like, you put your arm around my shoulders. Prepare to get thrown. Like that's not. It's not a thing you can do. You can't wrap arms around my neck, whatever. Like I don't like that.
Oh, I don't think that a drunk person doing that would be trying to alpha. I would think that they're like so out of. They're like, yeah, clearly I'm not going to make a connection with you verbally, but if I get close, we can be physical kind of first.
I'm so very much opposed to that. like
Now, here's my question, Taylor. All right, from a cocaine perspective, because I have not tried it either.
Me either.
But I am fundamentally a pretty introverted person. Like, I drive across the country with no radio in my silence of every second. But when I consider myself, for the interest that I have, to be exactly the right amount of famous, where if I go through the airport, two people are going to say, hey, are you Ed from Benwiki? And that's awesome. It's pleasant. If I'm at a car show, it's all them, and it's like, we all want to write down this car story, and happens and all the stuff like. But at the end of spending a car show, I like be in a dark room by myself.
Oh, fuck.
Have some time.